and gentlemen, we are back here from Kansas City, Missouri, here at TPKC Stadium, where I Just Wanna Rock is playing over the speakers, and that's how we're feeling for this Game 4. We just got done with Game 3 of the Big 12 Soccer Championships, Day 2 here from Kansas, Missouri, where we saw a Texas Tech squad just oust Baylor in the second half. Baylor putting up a good fight, but not enough. Now, the tail of the tape here. We have two good squads in West Virginia and Kansas. But the question is, all roads lead to Kansas. But will the roads end in Kansas for the Jayhawks? Or will West Virginia have to take the country roads back home?
It should be an interesting matchup. I'm very, very excited for this one. It's starting to rain a little bit. Kind of a sloppy game probably by both sides, but this is a game that should be quite good. I mean, this is a Kansas team that went 6-4-1 in the Big 12. They're the 6th seed. They're kind of the only, call them underdogs, still left in the tournament. I mean, we're looking at the top 3 seeds all won today. We had the 3 teams that got byes won today. And so West Virginia, also received a bye. But, you know, anything can happen. Kansas is pretty much the home team. I mean, this is the most full the stadium has looked for any of the games so far, and I would bet you it's majority Kansas fans. Fortunately for them, it's really starting to come down here on the banks of the Missouri. But this should be a pretty good game. You're looking at a West Virginia squad coached by Nikki Izzo Brown. It's her 29th year as a head coach in the NCAA. 402 wins, 142 losses, and 75 draws for the veteran. She can guide the Mountaineers to a win here tonight if they do 2 things. Possess and pass. This team succeeds when they control possession and when they finish clinically with their passing. Because at the end of the day, Kansas is going to be kind of juiced up, fired up. They're going to come out a little overly aggressive perhaps, and that can leave them exposed in the back end if West Virginia possesses the ball and passes it well.
Now let's talk about lineups. We talked about what both of these teams are good at, but let's talk about who is involved. For Kansas in the goal, we have Sophie Daw. After that, we have Olivia Page, Sage Wimes, Mackenzie Boove, Kate Langfelder, Michaela Merlo, Lauren Wood, Caroline Castens, Asa Kante, Lexi Watts, and Jillian Grigorski. And for West Virginia, we have Mackenzie Smith in goal, A.J. Rodriguez, Taylor White, Olivia Schertzer, Anika Leslie, Lily McCarthy, Lisa Schupel, Dilari Heredia Beltran, Ajane Respas, Niema Ingleton, and Gianna Koss.
Should be an interesting matchup between these two teams. Lots of defenders on the field for West Virginia. They only like to play 2 attackers. They have a strike partnership up top. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see, can those 2 players get active. I mean, we're looking at Taylor White and Olivia Scherzer are probably going to bring the majority of the goals for this team. Adria Rodriguez, though, a threat from the midfield. She has 4 goals to her name this year. Not an assist yet, but the 5th year from Austin, Texas is always dangerous whenever she's on the pitch.
As we now see a ball booted up the field by Kansas. Recovered by number 4, Sage Wimes, approaching the corner flag. The ball is a little slippery on the surface, and it goes out for a West Virginia goal kick.
Not just the ball, but the surface itself. I mean, this grass has had 3 games played on it already today. It's looking a little beat up, to be completely honest. There's some patches of just kind of dirt, not a lot of green. And with the rain starting to really fall here in Missouri, you got to think it's going to be a tough condition to play on today.
Correct, as we try to see West Virginia play out of the back, but Kansas maintains good pressure. Now it's going to go ahead and be rest pass on the ball. Ends up losing it between 2 Kansas defenders. Kansas now resetting from the back with number 2, Olivia Page. Olivia Page trying to send that ball over the top to Lexi Watts. Rejected by the West Virginia defender. Bouncing off of rejected by the West Virginia defender for the Kansas throw-in. Middle of the pitch. Ball is now wide. And it's a battle in the middle between both sides. Kansas now winning that battle. Grigorski with the ball on her feet, playing it to the right, wide with Wood. Wood approaching the center. Can't get a right hit on it. Can't get that curve to the left as she was looking for. And it's going to go out for a West Virginia goal kick.
Players definitely starting to feel the conditions so far. We can see them trying to entrench their cleats into the mud. This rain is really coming down, and it doesn't seem like it's projected to stop. It says in 47 minutes. That's what we're probably looking at in terms of when this rain might halt, but that's the entire first half. And this is all so far today. A lot of the goals we've seen have been scored in the first half of these games.
Which, let's see if that trend continues. But once again, this period is going to be used sort of like a boxing match. How you and me here have basically explained it.
Yeah, it's two teams that, at the beginning of the soccer match, just like any boxing match, they're going to be kind of feeling each other out with jabs, trying to get a sense of where each other are distance-wise. And these are two teams that play very, very similar styles. I will say, Kansas, an aggressive counter-attacking team, and that is the one thing that differs them from the Mountaineers, as a balloon has just landed on the pitch. I repeat, there's a balloon on the field as the ball is swung in towards the edge of the box. What's going on there?
That's it came in out of nowhere. Hopefully it doesn't affect the game as it has done in many occasions. Take it back to the 90s, early 2000s in Liverpool with the famous balloon goal. And a goalkeeper, Mackenzie Smith for West Virginia, is having none of that. She's stomping that thing out and taking it out to
the redshirt sophomore transfer from Florida State has probably never had this happen before. I mean, if she's a redshirt sophomore in her third year in college, yet, a balloon just descending from the heavens, that tells you how hard it's raining here, Joao. It is raining so hard that the little balloons filled with helium that the kids accidentally let go and that they seem to float away forever, well, they're landing right now. They're falling out of the sky.
Let's see if we have another one fall unexpectedly. And then just a heads up from our insider, Mahirson Hassan. Coach Eric Bell, TCU head coach, is watching the game from outside the press area.
He wants to know, who we might meet in the championship game, because he doesn't play the winner of this next. That's going to come against BYU. But the winner of this game could win another game that could certainly meet TCU in that league championship. Which
is also a display of his confidence. If he's looking ahead, he must have something on BYU, and he must feel comfortable playing a BYU squad that was on an absolute rout today in this early morning. Reset now from the back for Kansas. It's going to go ahead and be Olivia Page. Olivia Page booting that ball up the field, sort of rejected by the West Virginia defender, and now it's Kansas from the back, attempting a long ball over the top, but it ends up finding the boot of Sage Wimes. Wimes from the outside, a nice shot from outside of the box going towards the right post, but it's going to go ahead and be Smith who collects the ball, gets on her knees, and now she's looking for a target to pass.
Smith, like I just mentioned, a veteran of college. Just because she's a sophomore doesn't mean she has never played in college before or hasn't had a lot of experience. 16 starts this season, only 17 goals allowed, a sign that this is a stout West Virginia defense that doesn't often concede multiple goals in one game.
17 goals against, 17 goals played. That's a goal against average, as we now see a ball up in the air, but it's going to be AJ Rodriguez to control the ball for West Virginia. Now playing the ball wide to her teammate, trying to find who seemed to be a Janae rest pass. But instead, the ball goes a little long, and it's going to go ahead and be in the hands of Sophie Daw, who must be freezing with the rain and no sleeves.
Yeah, the Kansas likes to put their goalkeepers in basketball jerseys, it seemed, which is kind of a cool idea, except, it would probably be a little too cool right now given the cold rain we're experiencing here on the banks of the Missouri River. Nonetheless, sometimes drip is more important than, comfort, and she's definitely putting that term into life.
Oh, for sure. As we now see Kansas reject a long ball from West Virginia down that right side, and they're trying to launch their own long ball. This game has been really long ball esque, and I don't think we'll see any less than what we've seen right now. Ball now going over the top, finding number 5 Taylor White, now rejected by number 16 for West Virginia, Asakante. Now in the middle, Michaela Merlo receiving the ball, playing it wide to Langfelder. Langfelder finding Wimes. Wimes approaching that right side of the box, beating the West Virginia defender with speed, not able to stop and control that ball. Slippery surface. And it's going to go out for a West Virginia goal kick.
Wimes is a threat. She scored when they were at West Virginia on September 22nd, and she's also got 6 assists to her name, so she can distribute as well as she can shoot. She's a Kansas City native who I'm sure is loving playing home right now, maybe not necessarily loving the weather, but she's definitely a player to watch here if you're Kansas.
As we now see West Virginia playing a long ball through the middle with AJ Rodriguez not able to control well, but rest pass on that ball. Rest pass having to play the ball wide with Dila Heredia Beltran. Beltran playing now back with goalkeeper Smith. Smith finding herself in a little bit of a pickle there, almost losing the ball to the Kansas attacker. Has to send the ball out for a West Virginia throw-in. So the ball did end up bouncing off the Kansas player. As we now see Kansas from the middle. It's going to go ahead and beat Merlo. Merlo letting off a shot, finding the hands of Smith once again.
And in rain like this, goalkeeping can be difficult. It can be hard. I mean, you were a goalkeeper when you were younger. I was a goalkeeper when I was younger. You have to, it's underrated. People don't realize how slippery. Goalkeeper gloves can almost get more slippery when they get wet than just catching with your bare hands. And so it's the most important thing for both keepers today is to keep their thumbs together. Do not let your thumbs separate, because if your thumbs are separate and the ball comes hurtling towards your face, it's going to slip right through your palms and either go right past you or hit you right in the nose.
And getting hit right now with the ball in the nose is the last thing you'd want. Cold weather plus a slippery surface, it's going to equal a lot of pain if there's a shot rebounded off you. As we now see Kansas on the attack. Nice shot let out from number 18, Lexi Watts, right outside of the 18-yard box on the left side. But Smith is going to be there to collect. Took quite a shot to the chest, had to catch that rebound. As we now see West Virginia trying to play out from the back, it's going to go ahead and be Smith once again. Smith finds absolutely nobody. Attempted ball to Schertzer. Instead goes out for a Kansas throw-in on the right side with number 13, Lauren Wood, ready to distribute that ball. And
Kansas putting a lot of pressure on West Virginia early on. It kind of feels like possession might be a curse here in this weather, because teams that are so used to, solid footing, trying to build it up with short, tight, tiki-taka passing outside of their own end. You can't necessarily do it in rain like this when grip is hard. It's kind of just boot it and hope it falls to the right player. That seems to be the best method of attacking, at least early on in this game, which is not something that West Virginia is used to. As they're possessing and holding the ball, they're slipping up and missing some easy passes that have led to a couple turnovers so far.
And that's why we've seen so many long balls in play like this one going to AJ Rodriguez. AJ Rodriguez trying to play Taylor White on that short ball. Kansas recovering very well. Now it's going to go ahead and be Boove from the back. Boove holding and distributing to Page. Page trying to play a long ball up that left wing, looking for Watts. Instead, it's going to go ahead and be Gianna Koss, who's there for West Virginia. Has to hit the ball out for a Kansas throw-in on that left side.
Some Kansas subs already trying to stay warm. Could be perhaps because of the heat, the cold they're experiencing out there. Could also be because we might see some substitute action early in this first half, just 10 minutes in with 34-38 left.
And the rain is going to make it colder, and these subs need to go in warm. If not, they also risk cramps, or if not, injury, because they're not warmed up well enough. As we now see Kansas looking for a ball, trying to play that throw-in. And it's Caroline Castens, who had an absolute screamer against Arizona State last week. Distributing the ball to Watts. Watts trying to play it wide to Michaela Merlo on the right side. Now it's West Virginia ball. West Virginia losing the ball. Defensive error. Now we see Watts. Watts right outside the 18. Letting off a shot. Bouncing off of a West Virginia defender. And it's AJ Rodriguez with the ball. Watts recovers once again. Trips up Rodriguez in the process. Referee doesn't call anything. Calls it a slip.
Yeah, that was interesting because Watts knocked over Rodriguez with a nice play of physical defending that I thought was totally clean. I think Watts might have thought that she fouled Rodriguez because she could have taken the ball and dribbled that 10 yards closer and taken a much better shot. But instead, she just takes it off one touch and blasts it into about, row J in the stands. And I feel like Watts could have done better for herself there. I just think she thought it was a foul and was just saying, let me just get this ball out of here. When in reality, she really could have operated herself into a closer position there and potentially scored a goal.
That's greatly said, Luke. And really, this game is about taking advantage of all your opportunities. As we now see Wimes with Rodriguez right on her, has to play that ball to Lauren Wood. Lauren Wood just booting it up the field. Reckless play here with 33 minutes left to play in the first half.
Both teams just trying to get lucky and find the ball slipping on this grass to end up in the right spot. That's really what I think would separate kind of this game. Who just gets lucky? Who takes advantage of these chances? They're going to be rare, and weather like this, you're not really guaranteed to have nice, controlled build-up play, even though that's something West Virginia likes to do. Kansas is much more of a pressing and counter-attacking team. It's clearly working to their advantage so far tonight.
As we now see Asakante on the ball, has to play it back with Page. Page losing the ball in the middle, irresponsible pass. Rodriguez had the ball for West Virginia, couldn't handle the physical play from Langfelder and Grigorski in the middle, and has to send the ball out for a Kansas throw-in right at the halfway mark, right at that halfway line. As we now see Langfelder trying to maneuver between two, losing the ball, and it's booted up the field by Lauren Wood. Recovered by West Virginia seemed to be number 15, Lily McCarthy. Now sending the ball out, Kansas for a West Virginia throw-in. AJ Rodriguez, for some reason, making time. Could have passed it to her. Wasting time. Could have given it to her teammate. But regardless, it's Olivia Schertzer now on the ball. Has two options within rest pass and Koss. Tries to find Rodriguez instead, who had made the run. Not able to. Now it's Lauren Wood. Wood with the ball over the head of Watts. Ends up recovering.
It's going to be our first look at Kansas off of a corner kick here. And these set pieces are important in games like this. Chances might not be abundant. And, Joao, I was using the kind of the symbolism of a boxing match. You know, these two fighters kind of trying to feel each other out right now. There's opportunity early in this match to land a big punch. And when there's conditions like this, and when it's two teams like this, end of the day, they're tired, thrown off their schedule, whoever punches first and punches hard could really just ride that for the rest of the game.
That's correct. And ball over the top. Slippery mess for West Virginia. Langfelder, who boots it up once again. It's Caroline Castens now looking for the ball. And West Virginia's finally going to find a way to boot this ball out. Ball now hit in the air. Trying to find Watts. Watts controlling it with her left shoulder. Able to get the ball off of a heavy touch. Ball now going into the box to the right side. Nobody is there besides the West Virginia defender, number 12, Olivia Schertzer, and she's going to go ahead and send it out for a Kansas throw-in off the right side.
It was one of the first examples we've really seen of rain potentially harming a defensive tactic. I mean, Watts had it, was attacking around that left side of goal, and the West Virginia defender just slips and falls and gives Kansas an opportunity to cross the ball into the box. Thankfully for the Mountaineers, nobody there.
Exactly, and really it's going to be a question of who's there, who's not there for both squads. This ball is going to be slippery, and really you have to be evenly distributed around the field in order to cause some danger. Now we see number 18, Dilari Heredia Beltran, on the ball with a nice little move to get past her defender. Once again, getting past her second one, distributing the ball right in time to her teammate, who now sends the ball over looking for a Jeanne rest pass. But instead, it's going to find the foot of Mackenzie Boove, pardon the pronunciation, and it's going to go out for a West Virginia throw-in.
That was probably the best build-up we've seen from West Virginia so far today, all thanks to Heredia Beltran. She did a very, very good job, you know, anticipating the oncoming defenders, working around them, and ending up setting up her teammate for what was almost a nice through ball for the Mountaineers.
And really, it's just been Kansas' physical play that's been keeping them, you know, into this game and maintaining possession of the ball. As we now see Olivia Schertzer looking to throw this ball in, ends up finding Lisa Schupel. Ball is now rejected by Asakante. Kansas is pushing up the field with speed as Nyema Ingleton has to play the ball with Smith. Smith trying to find her right back there. Very close to finding Sage Wimes in the process, but instead it's going to stay with West Virginia, and they're going to have their first foul of the game. AJ Rodriguez, who has been thrown around in this midfield, real physical play from Kansas. Referee finally blows his whistle as number 15, Caroline Cassens, went in with a little bit of too much force on that right leg, and a just foul. 28 minutes here left to play in the first half from CPKC. Still at a standstill, the rain doing its work and causing chaos within this first half.
It was kind of 50-50 contact. I thought referee says that Kansas was a little bit too physical with it and gave West Virginia the free kick. Castle's going to have to watch herself. She doesn't want to get a yellow card early in this half.
Correct, and now we see Castens on the ball, plays it to Sage Wimes. Wimes to Castens once again on the left wing, trying to swing a ball to the middle to Watts. Rejected very well by the West Virginia defense. Ball is now in the air, looks like a volleyball game, but it's going to stay with Kansas now. Running towards the middle, Grigorski. Grigorski lays it off to her teammate. Swings the ball to the right side. That ends up getting a lucky rebound to Wood. Wood trying to give another cross into the box. It's going to go ahead and bounce into row 3 there.
Last time out on the corner kick, the ball in was difficult to handle for Mackenzie Smith. We'll see if she can get a good grip on it this time because a loose ball around the box is a goalkeeper's worst nightmare.
And we're going to see if she ends up going out or not. Obviously, when you're running out into the box, you need speed. But speed and rain doesn't mix because either the ball is too slippery or either, you end up slipping. Let's see what happens on this play. Ball now swinging into the box by Wood. It's hit up by Olivia Page, the Kansas defender, and it's going to go ahead and go out for a West Virginia goal kick. As we now see Smith from the back awaiting her indications to let this ball go. Smith sort of contemplating this kick, looking at the ball, taking a little sigh before she ends up kicking it. Goes past half field, rejected by Kansas defense. Nice little rebound, finds Watts up top. Watts can't control the ball, and now it ends up with Anika Leslie for West Virginia. Leslie trying to play with who seemed to be number 24, Niema Ingleton. Ends up slipping, calls for contact. Referee wants none of that, and it's going to go out for a Kansas throw-in off the left side. 25 minutes left to play, and still 0-0 here from Kansas City, Missouri, as Kansas tries to launch himself into the attack. Instead, it's rejected by West Virginia in the feet of A.J. Rodriguez. A.J. Rodriguez, who tried to get past Olivia Page, but Page with physical play sends the ball out.
Another no-nonsense clearance from the Jayhawks. They're not playing around tonight, trying to just get the ball out. And also, it seems as though the rain has lightened up slightly. Still coming down. Still definitely coming down. But not coming down nearly as hard as it was at the start of this game.
Which should help the field conditions a little.
And definitely benefit the Mountaineers, who play a much more technical style of football that's aided by, a dry field and good grip with their cleats.
As we now see a nice overlapping run from Lily McCarthy, trying to send the ball into the box. And the referee is going to give a corner kick deflection off of a Kansas player. Luke, let's see how dangerous the Mountaineers can be from the corner kick.
And the Mountaineers bench urging their players on. They know this is the best chance they've gotten so far in this young match with 24-38 left in this one. It's still 0-0. But we'll see how they attack this corner kick in the set piece opportunity.
And Sophie Daw, not yet tested with 0 saves in the game, and West Virginia yet to register the first shot with 24 minutes and 25 seconds left in this first half. Ball now swung in, goes wide and to the left, and really that's where the wind is going to. Who knows if the wind had a factor in that, but it's going to be a Kansas goal kick at the feet of Daw.
Wind definitely not as active as it's been in earlier games this tournament. I mean, maybe the flags are weighed down by water, but they're not rippling very hard over there on the flagpoles behind the Jumbotron that we can see. But still, nevertheless, Kansas trying to do their best, kind of going against the pseudo wind, and there's a nice through ball.
As we now see Olivia Page reject that ball, sending it out for a West Virginia throw-in off that right-hand side. West Virginia taking their time on this play. Respass finally taking a run to receive that ball. Has two players on her. Can't beat Page in physicality. Page is going to find that ball, boot it up the field. Now it's Wimes. Wimes looking for the ball. Can't get there, but still, it's rebounded off of the West Virginia defender, Anika Leslie, for a Kansas throw-in. As we now see Caroline Castains. Caroline Castains on the ball. Passing it to Wimes. Wimes with pressure on her. Ends up ceding possession to Ingleton. Ingleton who can't maintain control of the ball. Now it's going to be a Kansas throw-in once again off that left-handed side. Pretty close to the 18-yard here 18-yard box. Ball's now played with the middle. Driven down to the right side with Wood. Ball centered by Wood, rejected by the West Virginia defense. Now finds Limepower there, who hits a low sombrero. It ended up finding the feet of Lexi Watts.
Watts, again, had a chance where she could have taken another touch or two and put herself in a better position to take the shot. Too bad for the Kansas Jayhawks. She just shot right away as soon as touching it. It was a nice little flick on that left her with a good opportunity deep into the West Virginia box, kind of on the edge of the 6 there. She could have taken another touch. It was literally just her and the keeper, but she shot it at an odd angle, kind of a side volley sort of situation, and it would just harmlessly bounce to the hands of the keeper. Nonetheless, I'm sure Watts is going to get more chances as the game goes on.
As we now see ball in the air, moon ball here from Kansas City. AJ Rodriguez not able to win that ball. Ball now hit over the top by Asa Conte. Has a little bit of a weird bounce to it, but Mackenzie Smith is going to be able to get there to the ball. What do you think Kansas needs to break through this deadlock, Luke?
Honestly, just be more clinical in the final third. They've had a couple good chances, and their press has been very, very effective. It feels like West Virginia can't get out of their own half. Kansas is doing exactly what they came here to do. It's to make West Virginia's life hard and to make it difficult to really use the classic West Virginia build-up play that's led to a lot of success for them this season. And so as of right now, Kansas needs to do better with the opportunities that they're making for themselves. They're doing a really good job giving their entire team chances. You have to imagine their XG is probably past 1 at this point. They've had a couple of good chances, but at the end of the day, it's about what you do with the chances, and right now they haven't been as clinical as they would like.
Then if you're West Virginia, if you are West Virginia, what do you do to counter that press? How do you establish an effective counter press to get up to the attack?
It's difficult with these conditions, but you just have to be crisp and more decisive in your decision making. It seems like West Virginia is kind of a little bit sluggish in terms of what they want to do and where they want to go with the ball. And it's because I think they're second guessing themselves a lot because of how chaotic this Kansas press has been and how unsure they are of their own footing in this rainy condition.
Once again, being decisive, and West Virginia wasn't that in that moment. Rodriguez ceding possession to Kansas. As we now see Wimes on the ball. Wimes down that right wing, passes it to Wood. Wood with a nice little ball over the top, but it's rejected very well by that West Virginia defense. And now we're going to see if Olivia Schertzer can do anything on this play. Nice ball over the top, going to rest pass, going to pressure Daw. Very dangerous play from the goalkeeper there.
Coming off her line. An interesting play by Dahl as there's a foul. Referee's going to give a free kick here to West Virginia. I would say in a somewhat threatening position. I mean, this is a team that's pretty good from their set pieces, and they have a chance to swing one into the box here. And I thought that was a good call by the official. Definitely contact, shoulder into the back by a Kansas defender. We'll see who he calls it on it. Might have been Wood. Could have also been Merlot, perhaps. But I'm going to say that was probably on Wood. But here's a chance here. I mean, West Virginia, they have Annika Leslie taking this. She could put it into the box, put it on the head of somebody who could perhaps deposit it into the back of the net and give the Mountaineers an early lead.
Leslie with the ball into the box. Trying to find rest pass on that second post. Ball that goes over. Dangerous ball over the top. A little bit more of a direct header, and she has a goal there possibly, but instead it goes out for a Kansas goal kick.
I actually thought Respass did a really, really good job there. She knew she couldn't score from that angle. It was kind of farther, kind of on the elbow, a little bit past the elbow of the 6 where the two lines meet. And instead she was trying to head it on, flick it on back to the middle of the box and give her teammates an opportunity. I thought that was a really, really smart play. At the end of the day, what doesn't work, but I thought, really, if she's in that position again, I would make that exact same move again. That wasn't really a goal-scoring angle, but she still gave her team probably the best chance to put one, on the score sheet there.
And it's nice to see things from a different perspective too. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. And let's see if West Virginia has another opportunity. That wasn't registered as a shot. So let's see when West Virginia will get their first shot and how. But in the meanwhile, 18 minutes, 22 seconds left. 18 minutes, 22 seconds left here from CPKC Stadium, where the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Kansas University Jayhawks are currently at a 0-0 standstill. West Virginia now from the back with Anika Leslie once again. A dead ball, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players ready to receive it right outside of the box. Leslie raises her hand. giving an indication to her players. Rest pass with a nice dummy, but not controlled well by number 11, Jordan Wilson, and it's going to go ahead and go out.
And this Kansas team is not devoid of talent. Two players making appearances in the Big 12 first team, Caroline Cassens and Lexi Watts. We'll see if we get features from them, at least in their best forms today, as there's a shot on goal that's collected nicely and smoothly, as cool as you like, by Mackenzie Smith. Also, a lot of hometown heroes on this team. 18 players from the Kansas City area. You know, sometimes they like to call this place the soccer capital of the world, and we're seeing it right now. I mean, maybe not the soccer capital of the world, but certainly, you know, of the United States. That has a shout. We're in a brand new, nice stadium with a great tournament that's produced some thrilling matches, and a lot of teams, a lot of players in this hometown team are just from the area.
And it's nice to see how it's a full circle moment. You grow up watching the game, and at some point you're playing here, and eventually with the hopes to play for the Current if you're these hometown girls. As we now see the Mountaineers play on that left side of the Kansas pitch. But Asa Conte, no nonsense, doesn't want anything to do with that ball. Is going to go ahead and send it out for a West Virginia throw-in.
The Mountaineers kind of on the front foot for the first time, it seems, in this match. They are experiencing that typical Kansas pressure, but this time, you know, they're in the Kansas attacking half while they do it. And so Mountaineers doing a pretty good job making this Kansas team really just dig in and defend in the trenches rather than push forward and kind of be an outward-facing defense.
Wimes to Grigorski. Grigorski now playing back with Page. Page attempting a ball over the top, trying to find Wimes. Rejected by the West Virginia defense. That ball ends up at the feet of Grigorski. Grigorski not able to control. Instead, it's going to be launched upfield by West Virginia. West Virginia trying to run up that right side with who seemed to be Ingleton. Instead, it's going to be rejected by the Kansas defense and Olivia Page, and it's going to be a West Virginia throw-in. West Virginia now looking for options. Dillery moving around, but instead that ball is going to try to go to Ingleton again, and it's going to go out for a... It's going to go out. Sorry, it didn't go out at all. Kansas is going to maintain possession of that ball.
There was shoulder-to-shoulder contact there, and a West Virginia player went to ground looking for a call, didn't get it. I kind of like how the referee has been addressing this game. Not really, you know, letting them play, letting both teams play, and not necessarily giving ticky-tack fouls and making himself a big part of it. Really rather just letting the game do the talking.
As we now see Wimes looking for Langfelder on that left side, now finding Lexi Watts, who ends up losing the ball. It's Gianna Koss who recovers for the Mountaineers. As we now see Taylor White on the ball. Gets pushed off of it, and it's going to be Wood who continues for Kansas. Now finding Watts in the middle. Watts with who seems to be Merlot. Merlot losing the ball. West Virginia hitting it out. Out to the left side with Dillery Heredia Beltran. And Heredia Beltran, who tries to get past Asa Conte, not able to. Conte sending it out for a West Virginia throw-in near the middle.
Asa Conte continuing to play quite well tonight. She's been one of the best defenders on this Kansas team.
Referee interference there, not calling anything. Kansas now booting the ball up the field, trying to find the Wimes once again. West Virginia now has it under control with the feet of A.J. Rodriguez. A.J. Rodriguez now playing wide with Gianna Koss. Gianna Koss lifting her head, looking, finding down that right side, not able to find anybody. Is going to go ahead and send it out for a West Virginia throw-in. And there is going to be a couple of substitutions here for both sides. Luke, can you tell me who's going on and who's going off for both teams?
And we're going to get a good look here at Mackenzie Hammontree, the Leawood, Kansas native for the Jayhawks. 12 games played this season, but he hasn't started a single one. All of them, however, conference play. She registered 2 shots on target in 37 minutes against our hometown Arizona State Sun Devils, but what she's really used for is distribution play. She's known to be a key part of the Jayhawk link-up, and I'm interested to see how she can be used to attack this West Virginia defense.
Thank you for that insight, Luke. I really appreciate it as we now see Caroline Castens attempt to play from the back from the throw-in. Ball over the top. Now looking for number 23, Jocelyn Herma. Herma, who tried playing that ball over the top, not able to. She ends up sending it out for a West Virginia throw, and it's Gianna Koss on the ball. Gianna Koss faking the throw, getting ahead there, trying to find rest pass. Rejected by Kansas defenders. Kansas trying to recover that ball in the middle. Instead, it's going to be White. White running down the right wing, looking for the cross inside the box. Ball ends up going over. Tries to find number 11, Jordan Wilson, not able to. It's going to go ahead and send it out for a Kansas goal kick in the feet of Sophie Dahl.
I think I'm impressed by Wilson not going to ground there. She could have flopped and dove and sold that a little bit and could have gotten a consideration for a penalty call. Felstad was not playing around, went shoulder to shoulder with Watts, and was very physical in terms of how she defended her on that ball. And I think if could have sold it a little bit, perhaps gotten a penalty call. But at the end of the day, what's fair is fair. I don't think it was worth a penalty call, but a good dive and could have convinced the referee.
That's correct, and really she stood her ground, and that's commendable. You don't see that quite amount of times, at least these days. Ball's going to end up going out for a West Virginia goal kick, and we're going to have some more substitutions here for both sides.
A look at here at Arira Bilal coming off the bench wearing number 1 for West Virginia, yet she is not a keeper. You don't often see number 1 on an outfield player. She's got a goal to her name. Again, not often a starting player, 16 games this year, but not a start. For the Kansas side, they're going to take off Lexi Watts, their all-league player, replace her with Sophia Nickel, probably just to give Watts' legs a bit of a break in what has quickly turned into a defensive slugfest under the lights and the pouring rain.
And here's the thing, too. I mean, Nickel should be a good substitution for the Jayhawks. She has been an absolute engine. She showed that against ASU, too. She's an absolute pressing machine and should be able to get the ball in defense.
And believe it or not, if this game continues to be a physical slugfest, it seems like Nickel's the perfect player for the job. Fun fact, she has a black belt in Taekwondo. Did you know that?
I did not. That is
So we know who to turn to if these two teams start scrapping and this game gets physical. I think if you're West Virginia, you kind of hope it doesn't, just because you never know what a black belt in Taekwondo can do.
Yeah. Wow, what a fun fact. Ball now going into the box for West Virginia. Rejected very well by Olivia Page. Kansas not able to control that ball near their own 18-yard box. It's going to be a ball over the top, attempting number 12, Olivia Schertzer. There's too much on that ball. And it's going to be a Kansas throw-in near the corner kick. And those West Virginia players are hustling, trying to cover the ball up on the field. Kansas from their own defensive third. Losing the ball. Nice recovery from Schupel. Schupel plays it back with Schertzer. Schertzer now finding Koss with a nice change of play on the right side. Koss attempting the ball over the top, trying to find Abby Alexa. Rejected by Kansas. Ball now launched, going up. But number 23, Jocelyn Arema, can't find that, and it's going to go ahead and go out for a West Virginia throw-in right at that halfway line. Alexa. No, not the Amazon Alexa. Abby Alexa. Can't control the ball. It was in Kansas possession with Conte. Conte tries to hit a ball up the field. It's recovered by Schupel. Schupel plays with Schertzer. Schertzer with McCarthy. Nice ball going over the top. Rejected by Castaigne. Can't control it. It's Alexa.
What a save. What a save. That might be the best save we've seen all tournament.
When Alexa was facing in front of the goal, Sophie Dahl is there to dive onto the ground. Both feet just to send that ball out for the corner kick.
Incredible. A volley just from the edge of the 6. Alexa got all that one. That's a tough save to make. And Dahl did a great job. She just made a textbook dive to her right, just poked it away with her hands, and it mercifully just rolls a little bit wide of that right post. What a save by Dahl. She's got to defend this corner kick, though.
Ball now going over the top. Trying to find Alexa once again. Referee blows a whistle, foul inside the box.
West Virginia getting too physical with the pushing and shoving. The rain seems to have died down a little bit, and then the game starts to open up. Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. Now, if I were Kansas defense on that play, if I would have gotten scored on, could you imagine what head coach Nate Lee would have said, or what how bad Sophie Dahl would have chewed him out?
I mean, that was pretty brutal in terms of just inability to get the ball out. But at the end of the day, sometimes your keeper's got to play hero, and Daw did just that. Did a really nice job playing hero.
Correct. Bilal now sending a cross into the box. Kansas not able to get there. There could have been a possible high kick on that play. Referee doesn't call anything. Kansas ends up clearing the ball out of their own box. And it's gonna go ahead and be a West Virginia throw-in. Ball that was going towards Alexa was cleared out by Mackenzie Boove. And now it's a West Virginia throw-in at the hands of Olivia Schertzer. Schertzer with two moving options in Alexa and in Wilson. Ball is now with Abby Alexa.
Surprised that wasn't a hand there. It went right off the wrist.
Could have been, but the referee goes off of the criteria of natural position.
Yeah, it was still sticking straight out of her body. I think Hammondtree got away with one there, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know, West Virginia's going to keep possession and move forward.
Correct, as we now see Anika Leslie on the ball. Left-footed pass to the left wing, attempting to find Alexa. Instead, it's rejected by Mackenzie Boove. Nice left-footed rejection out of the box. But West Virginia is going to recover in their own half. It's now going to be number 22, Chloe Adler, who sort of gets stuck on that ball. Doesn't know that she still has it. Ends up giving it to Olivia Schertzer. Schertzer trying to run down that left wing. Rejected by number 11, Jordan Feldstad. Another great player for the Jayhawks. And it's going to be a throw-in. Ball that went to Adler. Rejected by Langfelder. And this could be a counterattack for Kansas. Number 26, Sophia Nickel. Now playing it wide to Arema. Arema running down that right wing. Giving another cross into the box. Nickel tripping inside the box and taking the West Virginia defender with her.
Just because the rain stopped falling doesn't mean the grass magically dried, as we're still seeing players kind of slipping and sliding left, right, and center in an attempt to maintain footing in this game.
Couldn't have said it better, and there will be a substitution for Kansas. Coming on is number 6, Amika Kawagish, and coming off is number 12, Michaela Merlo.
Native of Osaka, Japan, making the long flight over here to, Manhattan, Kansas Lawrence, Kansas, not Manhattan, Kansas. They might kill me over in Lawrence if I made that mistake there, confusing them with their in-state rivals. But Lawrence, Kansas from Osaka, Japan, quite the long flight for the sophomore transfer from St. Louis, who's probably much familiar with the states of Missouri and Kansas at this point in her life.
The amount of layovers to get to Lawrence from Osaka must be insane. As the ball now goes up, Sophie Daw ends up giving it to Arema. Arema to Castens, and Castens to Wood. Wood tries to send the ball over the top. Ends up bouncing off of the West Virginia defender. Now it's Nichols who's fighting for the ball. Ends up winning it on that left wing right outside of the 18-yard box. Ball is now at the center of the pitch near the midway line with Conte. Conte playing back with Boove. Boove playing with Page, and now it's a Kansas attack. Cross into the box, looking for Arema, goes wide, and is now in the left touch line of West Virginia's defensive third. And they're going to let it run out for a West Virginia throw-in. And there's another substitution here on the pitch.
It's Gabby Lamparty replacing Lisa Schulpel. The German's going to get a bit of a break as Lamparty comes on.
Lisa Schulpel, who has been absolutely phenomenal for West Virginia this season, has played 17 games, started 17 games, earning a well-deserved rest. As there's 3 minutes and 42 seconds left to play here from CPKC Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Luke, how have you seen this first half?
I've seen this first half as kind of a tale of two halves. When the rain was pouring hard, it was all Kansas. They had a lot of potential opportunities. They had a lot of good chances that could have been aided by just a couple extra touches. Nonetheless, they didn't score. Now the rain is still going, but died down greatly. The pitch is drying off a little bit, and the game is opening up a little bit. And now we're seeing kind of why West Virginia is the higher-seeded team. They certainly have that level of quality going forward, and they're displaying it so far tonight.
But also, it's been Kansas unpredictability that's really kept them into this match. West Virginia, you know, expecting the same move, but really it's been different on every attack for Kansas, as we now see Arema try to storm through to the West Virginia box, but instead finds number 12, who has been absolutely phenomenal tonight, Olivia Schertzer for West Virginia, and is going to go ahead and Kansas is going to go ahead and send this out for a West Virginia goal kick. As we now see Smith on the ball. Time slowly fading within this first half, as we approach a new dawn of a second half to see who will emerge victorious in this matchup that's really been
hard to say. This matchup's kind of been like one-sided, really. It's been a pretty, like I said, the first half kind of was split up into two things. There was a Kansas side, and now there's a West Virginia side, and we seem to be kind of evening out in these last 5 minutes. If either team could steal a goal here before half, it could be monumental going into halftime. It really does feel like whoever scores first in this game is going to end up winning.
But really, I say pretty even, because it's been, I feel like no team has found a holding. At first it was Kansas, now it's West Virginia. This is really anybody's game.
Kind of an attacking groove has been hard to come by for both these teams. And that's going to be expected when you're playing in conditions like this. You know, last game of the day, these teams have probably been sitting around all day. They might be a little tired. But nonetheless, I think whoever finds that goal first is going to suddenly be kind of filled with confidence and is going to loosen up a lot and is going to have a good chance to come out victorious.
As we now see Nickel with a nice cross into the box, finding Langfelder. Langfelder with a heavy touch. Langfelder with the opportunity of a lifetime, wanted to control it with the right, to hit it with the right. Had the opportunity to bang it in with the left. What a cross from number 15, Caroline Castens. And it's now a goal kick for West Virginia as we have 1 minute left here in this first half. Still 0-0. Ball goes into the air, passing that halfway line. Difficulty in the middle for Kansas to release the ball. And it was Bilal who almost found Alexa, but now it's Olivia Page for Kansas. Kansas storming down the left side. Bilal getting a nice touch on it. Finding number 37, Gianna Koss, who boots it out directly to the middle of the pitch. And Kansas is trying to find an attack here with 30 seconds left. Once again, Bilal fighting with Nickel for the ball. And Bilal has to send this ball out. And little by little, 15 seconds left, and this first half is about to be done. Kansas losing the ball. Now recovering at the feet of number 25, Hammondry.
Ball goes out of bounds. That'll probably do it, eh?
Yep. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 0-0 for Kansas and West Virginia. Nobody finding the back of the net yet here from CPKC. But Kansas has had the opportunity, six shots, 5 shots on goal with 2 corners, and West Virginia little by little finding their way with 2 shots and 1 shot on goal.
Yeah, 5 saves in the first half for Mackenzie Smith for West Virginia. She's done her job. I wouldn't say they were necessarily heroic saves, but she was cleaning up chances and heavy touches from Kansas that crept into her box. In the second half, I feel like it's a whole new game. I feel like the half we just watched is kind of it was played the way it was played because there's a lot of outside factors, you know, rain, wind, you know, players waking up, getting into the flow of the game. I think the second half should open up a lot more. And you know what the best part about this is, Joao?
What?
It's a tournament. You got it. Somebody's got to win. This will not finish in a 0-0 draw. There will be goals at some point, and if there's not, there will be penalty kicks. So I'm all locked in for an exciting second half.
And really, we can expect anything to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, get a nice little stretch in, because if you've been with us all day, I know you're getting a little sore there. So get a stretch in, get some water, refill that popcorn bucket, because we'll be back here after a short break.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers.
Hot FM. Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football. How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to play a sport. But have you ever wondered what it may be like to interview someone who is in the sports industry? Like, how do I become a broadcaster? How do I become a graphic designer? How do I become a public address announcer? It's all here. How to Sports, your go-to sports industry leading show here on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Ryan Posesnik, Max Williams, and Tyler Wargo. How to Sports. It's in the game.
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello. With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment. Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have all four experts on the four major sports. Join Sammy Newt, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the MLB postseason, top NFL storylines, the biggest offseason news from the NBA and NHL, and anything relevant happening in the sports world. At the end of the day, we're just four roommates that love to talk sports, so join the conversation. Listen live on BlazeRadioOnline.com every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, or if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen.
And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As two former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
Coming this fall, Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Blaze Radio's premier sports movie talk show returns.
There's no crying in Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
If you ain't first, then watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Guys, there are rich teams and there are poor teams. And then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's people who don't watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Remember the time Friday Night Lights Camera Action showed up at halftime and Blaze Radio won the Bourbon Bowl? Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Friday starting at 9 p.m. Arizona time on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Now go out there and take it.
What's up, everyone? Life is confusing, so I, Natalia Marin, have decided to answer some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? AKA the name of my new show, Does It Work? Will have fun conversations featuring my hours of research, evaluating if cultural phenomenons, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Monday at 9 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com to see, if it works.
Just a music show on Tuesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. A show about sampling. Hosted by a city boy named Shane Saya. Talking about free samples.
Ever feel like you don't quite fit the mold?
A little unorthodox breaks it completely.
Join us as we dive into the messy intersections of faith, identity, and culture with stories that don't always follow the rules.
From in-depth interviews
to live event coverage,
we're here to explore what it really means to belong or not.
Join us, Emily Fox-Million
and Abe Mogelson,
on Sunday at 11 a.m.
Because sometimes the best way to make sense of it all is by getting a little unorthodox.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like, what's your take though? Yeah, he's cool, but Heisman? That team don't got nobody on there who could shoot any type of threes. I'm supposed to believe they're a playoff team? You're not answering the question. The question is, who is the better football team right now? Hey, I like that take right there. And it's not even close. What are we talking about? There's no midfielder as naturally talented as him in the last 20 years. Tune in to Let's Talk Takes every week, hosted by me, Devin Henderson, where I bring in different guests each week and we debate the most pressing topics in a variety of sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. We even gonna talk about some soccer. Tune in every week, Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. right here on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Hey, it's me again. It's your good friend, Max Cepeda. And the only guarantee I can give you is this. Any Tuesday night, anything can happen.
God, you're so good at interviewing, Max. Jeez, someone give him an award.
It ain't about the game, it's about the game. You feel me, Max?
That's no,
it ain't about the game, it's about the game.
She decided she was too good for Disney, and I was like,
she wins no matter what. Taylor
crazy.
Swift is always right.
Blaze Radio presents The World According to Zippy, Season 3. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, why are you crying?
Charlie Blackman's gone!
What do you mean Charlie Blackman's gone? You got Zach Veen that will be ready to be called up in center field.
Who's Zach Veen?
You get to hear all about Zach Veen every Monday from 8 to 9 on Up on Deck on Blaze Radio.
Every Monday, baby!
The following is the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, and it is scheduled for one fall.
Join Luke Carter, Justin Lacertosa, Luca Lindo, and Dylan Oliver every Monday from 4 to 4:30, where we talk about all the high-flying, table smashing, eyebrow raising, limousine riding action, and professional wrestling.
Welcome to your favorite show where everything is untitled, unscripted, and unhinged.
Us Podsmiths and Yes Podsmiths are what professional podcasters are called. Let's just say we're your favorite Podsmiths.
On our show, we discuss a variety of different topics and segments, from the latest news to your favorite tunes.
And it's not just us. Every week we bring in a special guest to shake things up.
So join me, CJ Stevenson,
and me, Kate Nakamura, every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Hey ya! Want to stay up to date with what's up in the gaming industry? Want to listen to a girl yap about her gaming opinions and hot takes? Then tune in Wednesdays at 4 p.m. for Power Up on BlazeRadioOnline.com to join me, Chaz Alvin, as I walk you through the latest and greatest in gaming news, from PC to console, from indie to AAA, while also discussing what makes video games such an interesting and engaging art form. See you then!
We listen to the show for magic. We listen to the A-list to rant, to laugh, to argue, because we need that, all of us.
That indescribable feeling we get when the on-air sign lights up and we review movies you've probably seen before.
Not just entertained, but somehow informed. Much more than new. 12 noon, every single Tuesday.
Somehow, from Larissa, Gibbs, Zach, and Spencer, our show feels like you're talking to the 4 worst people you know. Because here, you are.
The A-List. We make movies worse.
Howdy everyone, it's Jack Footer, aka JFoo, and I'm here to let you know the JFoo Show is back. Every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, I'll be playing you fantastic tunes from the JFoo theme of the week to get your Sunday.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CPKC Stadium. The stadium DJ is trying to teach everyone here how to Dougie, and one of the Kansas assistant coaches is certainly getting down at the half-field line. My name is Luke Leonard. I'm joined by Zhao Lara. We are about to get rocking with this second half between West Virginia and Kansas. Wow, 0-0 in the first half. What did you see? Did you see anything?
Well, I definitely saw something. Kansas had 2 or 3 clear chances in front of box. They need to be more effective in front of goal. You find those opportunities and you don't take advantage of them. I mean, there's no point in them. And then for West Virginia, they had that one opportunity with a wonder save from Sophie Daw to keep this game 0-0. So there definitely has been something. But the question is, who will strike first?
Yeah, it really does feel like whoever strikes first in this game is going to come out on top. I wanted to go back and highlight that save you mentioned from Daw. Just truly incredible. On the half turn, it was Abby Alexa for West Virginia who had a half turn, half volley from just 6 yards out. Wound up and blasted. It was scooting as fast as the ball possibly could towards the lower left corner. Sophie Daw with reflexes, cat-like reflexes, diving on the ground, sticking her right arm out, and just pushing the ball a little bit wide of the net. Probably the best play of the game and maybe the best save of the tournament we've seen so far for Kansas. Kansas, the only team left that didn't get a first round bye. They're kind of our only hope for a Cinderella run in this tournament. Outside of that, the top 4 could be in for a heavyweight slugfest coming forward next Wednesday when the semifinals will occur. But teams are breaking their huddles. Teams are getting a run back onto the field. West Virginia wearing all white. It's all white everything for them today. White shirt, white shorts, white socks. Meanwhile, Kansas in their alternate reds. They'll be going right to left. They'll be going right to left. West Virginia will be going left to right as the two teams take the field and dial in for the second half of the last game of the second day of the Big 12 tournament. Luke Leonard, Zhao Lara here. We're talking to you on Blaze Sports Radio from the banks of the Missouri River on a night that started really, really rainy and really, really windy and has kind of calmed itself down. Doesn't seem to be raining that as hard or raining at all anymore, as two teams will probably like to find their footing and, open up the game a little bit more. Perhaps we'll see a little bit more goals in the second half.
And, a night that is going to get progressively chillier here as we go. Currently feels like 60 degrees. Let's see what ends up happening, but it should be an entertaining second half of football.
As the second half begins, West Virginia is going to hold possession off the tap, but then immediately turn it over on a heavy touch, even though two Kansas defenders then run into each other and give the Mountaineers the ball back. It'll be at the feet of Mackenzie Smith, who takes a big touch and boots it from just inside her 18-yard box, kind of hurtling towards the sideline. Falls to the feet of a Kansas defender, who hits it up ahead to Wimes. Wimes looking for options, ends up getting it to Wood in the middle. Wood to Merlot. Merlot back. Langfielder turns it over, and here comes A.J. Rodriguez back the other way for the Mountaineers.
As we see, Kansas still is keeping up that pressure. Luckily, the surface it's not receiving any more rain, which should help the ball. But let's see if West Virginia can finally get those famous strings of passes that they're known for.
Virginia trying to, push it up, hold possession, and do what they do best. Kansas looking to take advantage on her counterattack as Wimes chases the ball here in pursuit, takes a couple tips, and is going to end up at the feet of a Kansas attacker. That's Felstad who had it, but she'll just boot it long. It'll end up with West Virginia. Takes a couple deflections, now goes out of bounds off Kansas. It'll be a West Virginia throw from just shy of the halfway line on their defensive side. Mountaineers exchanging looks, trying to see who's going to take it.
Now look, this is good for West Virginia. They're starting to, little by little, try to assert dominance of the game, try to gain possession, and really just even throw-ins. Throw-ins are vital for West Virginia to try to start stringing plays together and beat that press that's been very effective for Kansas, not only in this game but last game.
The high boot falls to the feet of some West Virginia attackers. It's deflected a couple times. McCarthy trying to get a good look at it, but ultimately it's sent towards the edge of the 18. Running on is Respass, who gets control of the ball. She's now challenged on the edge, just close to the near side touchline. It's poked out. It'll be a West Virginia throw. It seems to be Respass who wants to take it here for the Mountaineers. She'll throw it in, takes a couple deflections, ultimately back at the feet of Respass. No, now controlled and taken. Here's Taylor White. Taylor White into the corner. She's dispossessed, and the Kansas defender just tries to clear the ball. Crawls up the line, but it'll go out of bounds. It was Olivia Page trying to do her best to get the ball out of the danger zone, but it'll be a West Virginia throw. And we're going to see what Gianna Koss can do from the sideline here.
As we now
Koss flings it. towards the end line, back into the corner. It's pushed in towards goal. Kansas can't quite clear it cleanly, and it'll be right back to where the original throw-in spot was. So Koss is going to go again from the same throw-in spot. Lots of red shirts down there, not a lot of white shirts, and so it's going to be hard for West Virginia to open up an attacking lane here in this Kansas final third.
And really, we need to see Rest Pass, do some better runs, because she's been checking in to try to find that ball, but she has been the difference for West Virginia, and she needs to step up this game if she wants to find the next round of these championships.
Schertzer with it now, trying to tack in from the far side. She cuts in, takes the deflection, but ends up getting the ball back. She'll swing it back. Now it's with Ingleton. Ingleton pushes up ahead towards A.J. Rodriguez, but it's just a little bit too long and controlled, then given away immediately by a Kansas attacker. It'll fall back to the feet of Jordan Wilson. She'll get it up to A.J. Rodriguez, who tries to take a big touch and turn the corner, but it ends up settling at the feet of one of her West Virginia teammates before being batted around, and it'll ultimately go out of bounds, seemingly off West Virginia. It'll be a Kansas throw. Yes, it will, in fact, be a Kansas throw. So the Jayhawks going to try to perhaps hold some possession here. So far, the second half been a little chaotic between these two teams. It's going to be Felstad to throw it in for the Jayhawks, trying to dry the ball off with her shirt. I'm sure the pitch is definitely still wet out there. Felstad on the sideline, winds up and flings it down the line, looking up ahead. It's headed out. She was looking for Lexi Watts, but ultimately she'll just gain 15 yards and throw again. From the edge of the field, takes a wind up and just flings the ball down the line again, looking for Wimes, but it's deflected back. Nice control there. That was really good defensive stand-up by Conte. Having a good game so far, number 16 for Kansas, the defender. What do you think about Conte's performance so far tonight, Joel?
She's been quick. She's been physical. She's been everything that Kansas has been needing this game to counter the runs that Taylor White has been providing for West Virginia.
And now with it, Wimes trying to cut it out. Two teams kind of in a bit of a close kickabout right now, all within a small 3-yard area. As it's sent back to Conte, she'll just boot it towards the West Virginia defensive line, pushing it up the field. It falls to the feet here of Ingleton, who sent it up ahead as we have a Kansas defender spill onto the ground. No whistle yet, as now it's pushed towards the Kansas attacking line. Still batted around. Ball just panging high at this point. Back to the feet of Ingleton on the near side. She pushes it up ahead. She's requested a check. She chooses not to, but now it's with Schopel, the defensive mid. She'll push it wide, and it finds the feet of Schertzer. Schertzer pushes it up ahead. She's on the far side. The left back gets it to Rodriguez in the middle of the pitch. Rodriguez looking for options. Tries the through ball. Nice communication there, and here's a chance for West Virginia as they turn the corner. Looking for a ball into the box. A nice deflection by Conte, but it ends up right back at the feet of Jordan Wilson, who turned the corner there and made a nice play for West Virginia.
Stellar block by Conte there. She had rest pass right behind her. She recognized that. She was still covering rest pass, but still stuck up her leg long enough to just get that ball out.
It's sent into the box, but deflected by a West Virginia attacker. It'll go out of the back. It'll be a Kansas goal kick, as these teams are 0-0 with 39 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second half. So far, a chess match and defensive struggle between these two teams that are still trying to feel each other out, just like boxers with jabs, before one of them is going to land a big punch.
And really, West Virginia is going to need either Dillery Heredia Beltran or A.J. Rodriguez to step up here and provide some offensive production. I know Rodriguez has been a little turned off
Nice
tonight.
touch there. Here comes West Virginia. Good chance for White. She's making a run, puts one into the box, but a nice save is controlled. Daw just doing her job right now. She had to play hero in the first half. In the second half, I'm sure she'd like to do her job. Just patting her defenders on the back, letting her know it's okay, guys. Sophie Daw's here to get you. And so that was a really good run there by Taylor White. Do you see her threatening a lot more in the second half, Joel?
Definitely. I mean, if this keeps on persisting, what might happen is Asa Conte might be moved over to that left center back spot, because she's been more aggressive and she's been more physical tonight than Olivia Page.
The through ball intended for Conte's position is just a little bit long. It'll be out of bounds. It'll be a Kansas throw here on the defensive end, kind of on the extension of their 18, so you could kind of argue it's on the edge of their defending third. Looking to throw it to the line just as they've been doing all night. It's Felstad with it. She sends it up into the middle of the pitch where it's booted around, almost controlled by Wimes, just a little bit too long for her, as Schertzer makes a nice defensive stand against Wimes. Pushes back, and now it's back at the feet of Mackenzie Smith, and here come the Mountaineers building up again, switching the field. and doing their best to ignite play here. It's sent up ahead. A deflection taken by Kansas, but just standing on the ball is Watts, who couldn't necessarily control it. That could have been a good chance for Lexley Watts if she could have controlled it and turned around. But nonetheless, West Virginia retains possession with 38-17 left in this one and a 0-0 scoreline.
And really, that press was beautiful, but the pitch is doing its work. It's still wet. It's still slippery, just like how Luke, just how Luke had said. The pitch isn't going to dry up magically. It's not going to, return to normal conditions here with 20 minutes of no rain. If it weren't for that, bad bounce or bad control for Kansas, it could have been something more. They had the numbers, they had the players.
Could have been a nice chance for them. Indeed, Watts was one of the, you could almost say perpetrators of their main chances in the first half. If she had just taken a couple extra touches, she could have put herself in a better position. Here's a nice ball win on the near side by Kansas as it's across, is deflected. It'll be a Kansas corner here. The Jayhawks looking to get a good opportunity as Castens jogs over, likely to lift her arm and send the ball into the box in just a few seconds as the Kansas bench jogs down to the side to get a better view of this corner kick. Castens on the far side. She'll put the ball down and try to operate here. Kansas had a couple chances from set pieces early in the game. It was trouble for Smith to handle the balls. It was soaking wet. But Castens raises her arm, swings her leg, and sends one into the box. It's around the goalkeeping area. Takes a deflection off the head of a West Virginia defender that looked like it was off Koss. Koss did a good job rising up and sending it back, but it'll go out of bounds off of her. It'll be another Kansas Jayhawk corner kick. This time to take it looks to be Michaela Merlo, the Broomfield, Colorado native. Has 7 assists to her name this year. She's known for being a distributor, but she sends it short. Now the cross into the box is deflected, but it'll fall to the feet of Beebe. Beebe tries, but it's another deflection. Bat around, taken from distance and tried to be floated into the box. It could fall to the feet of Wimes here, but it's just a little bit too far. A good idea and a nice pass by Felstad, but just not weighted perfectly enough, and Wimes can't catch up to the ball before it slips and slides on this wet surface and glides its way out of bounds. West Virginia 0, Kansas 0, 35-20 left in this one.
And West Virginia, who seem to have started finding their way, sort of losing it little by little. Whenever you're counter-pressing, not only do you need to be direct, but you need to have numbers.
Kansas controlling on the goal kick, now sending a ball booted towards the West Virginia defensive line, but it kind of takes a couple deflections and switches the field for West Virginia. Here comes Koss. She sends one up, trying to do her best to get it up to Taylor White, but just a little bit too long, and it'll be a Kansas throw from in front of the West Virginia bench.
As we now...
The throw in goes towards Koss, who does a nice job heading it on to A.J. Rodriguez. Rodriguez navigating from the middle of the field. A nice little turn here for Beltran. Tries one from distance, but it floats in to the sure hands of Sophie Daw, who makes yet another save. That is her third of the game.
And if you're West Virginia, that's what you need. Even though it's a little bit from distance, even though it seems a little far-fetched to score from there, it's just like a boxer. You just need to get into your groove. You start getting enough jabs. You start getting that confidence, and really just those punches start stunning your opponent a little.
It's about stringing together moves for both these teams right now. I think they're both playing pretty stagnant, and I think both of these teams want to get a nice opportunity going forward and just string together chances. As an aerial collision has left a West Virginia player injured on the ground, the ref is going to call for a time stoppage and a trainer coming on. Clutching her head, not quite sure who this is. Not Koss, not Rodriguez, not Beltran, not Schertzer. It's not the goalkeeper. As Kansas will jog and huddle on their half. Head injury is definitely something they're trying to work on in soccer in America, especially given the prominence they've had with football. It seems to be Lisa Schopel who hit the turf hard. Schopel's going to get some water, catch her breath, perhaps walk it off. She's going to... I think because she went down, she's going to have to jog off the pitch.
Yeah, she's going to have to be out for at least a play here, or at least when the assistant referee gives her an indication. The senior from Regensburg, Germany, went to Eichendorf Schule Wolfsburg School.
That was pretty good German, Joel.
Thank you.
I like that German. That was pretty good German. I can't say I could do perfect German. I could try Eckensdorf Schule. And then I know it's Wolfsburg. They say their W's are their V's over there, so they say Wolfsburg, not Wolfsburg. But one of my friends is taking German for a few years. I'll have to call him after this one and ask him. how you say those things. But regardless, it's going to be a West Virginia free kick here just from past their D. They're kind of halfway through their own half. If you can imagine the field as a pool table, they're shooting from one of the pins on one of the ends. And the goalkeeper sends it deep towards rest pass. He tries to get her foot on it, but after a couple deflections, it's matted down to the grass and taken. Trying to turn here is belted on. She does. Sends it out wide. West Virginia trying to build up. They send one in the box. There's rest pass. She tries to flick on, and they're going to call her for a foul. They say she got an elbow a little bit high that ultimately sent Bovey crashing to the turf. Bovey, a Lincoln, Nebraska native, probably wanted to play for the Cornhuskers, ended up with the Jayhawks. Or maybe she wasn't a Cornhuskers fan growing up, but staying in the Midwest for high school and for college. And continuing on here in the great state of Missouri here for this Big 12 championship, brought to you by Sprouts Market here at CPKC Stadium, where with 33 left in the game, it's Kansas 0 and West Virginia 0. We've had a physical, scoreless battle so far as Wimes now has it on the near side. She could attack up. She's got options in the middle. Continuing, floats one into the box, flicked on, and just eventually cleared out of bounds by Rodriguez. Watts was trying to flick it on for Kansas as they're going to make a sub here. It's going to be one of our first looks, even though we saw her a little bit in the first half, maybe a first extended look here. Lauren Wood is going to come on for Jordan Felstad. Wood, a Kansas City native. 10 of the 30 players on this Kansas roster are from the Kansas City area. As I mentioned in the first half, the soccer capital of America, as some like to call it. A couple nice deke fakes here, and here comes Kansas trying to operate up the near side, but a nice turnover there is forced by Taylor White, who gets it back and is immediately cleared out of bounds by a West Virginia defender. It'll stay Kansas. Oh, no, they're going to say it was off Kansas. It's going to be a West Virginia throw-in from about the midway line.
Yeah, speaking on that point of soccer, I think it is soccer capital of the U.S. The world, I think, would be a little too much. When we start seeing world-class talents come out of Kansas City, then it'll get here in the conversation. But
perhaps. You never know. Perhaps there's a couple 9-year-olds running around Kansas City that are going to be the next Messis and the next Ronaldos. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As Gianna Ross is prepared to take the throw in from just past the half-field line. She's into Kansas territory at this point. The throw goes up the line but doesn't find a West Virginia player. But the clearance by Kansas is scuffed, and it even knocks over what seems to be a camera on the West Virginia sideline. Something. But at the end of the day, Bovey can't get all of the clearance. It'll just be more harmful to the West Virginia bench than to her. The throw down the line is cleared yet again as Schertzer tries to get it up ahead, but it's rather just finding the feet of a Kansas defender who then sends it towards the West Virginia back line. Now here comes a nice attack, but it's quickly quelled and taken the other way. Here's Gregorski with it. She's looking for options coming up this right wing. Puts it on her outside boot, tries to big touch and run it down, but not having it is Olivia Schertzer, doing well on that left wing. A potential clearance is deflected by a Kansas attacker, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for West Virginia with 31 minutes left, or just under 31 minutes. Now we're talking 30, 55 and counting. It's West Virginia 0, Kansas 0 here at CPKC Stadium on the Blaze Radio YouTube channel. My name is Luke Lemler. Of course, I'm joined by Joao Lara. Joao, into the last 30 minutes of this game, what do these teams need to do to separate themselves before we potentially find our way into extra time?
Kansas needs to find an intended target and attack. Defensively, they've been phenomenal. Their press has allowed them to recover the ball multiple times, but offensively, their pass is really, it's just a boot up the field. I hope Wimes is up there. I hope someone else is up there.
Yeah.
But there's no intended target. When they start playing more direct, I think they'll be able to find something.
Ref prepared to go to his book here. There was a shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and he's staring down Elisa Schopel like an angry mother as he reaches into his pocket to pull out the yellow card. It was shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Schopel sent Watts flying into the Kansas bench. Schopel, the stronger player, but she'll be shown yellow, much to the delight of the Kansas bench that was right there clamoring for that call. Zhao, was that the right call?
Yes, but for Schupel, that is 9 Guten. That is not good at all.
A little Spanish action. Okay.
That was
not
German.
Spanish. A little German action. It's been a long day. All right, it's been a long day on the third call of the day here.
No, but
I meant German. I just said Spanish. No.
But really, that's not good at all. She needs to keep her head. She's an essential piece for West Virginia, but that was definitely the right call. Too much force on that.
Bovey's swinger into the box is loose for a second, and it'll trickle out of bounds. Who are they going to say it's last off of? They're going to say nobody touched it, so it's off of Bovey, and it'll be a West Virginia goal kick from the edge of the 6 with precisely 30 minutes left in this game. We're going to see some Kansas substitutions. Wimes is going to jog her way off the field. We're going to see a cameo here from Harima. Jocelyn Harima.
And
she, showed herself a little bit in the first half, but is probably looking for more extended minutes here to be fresh legs as this game winds down. In regulation, 29:40 left, West Virginia 0, Kansas 0 here at CPKC Stadium. The goal kick goes a little bit towards midfield, but is ultimately controlled by Haramia. As there's a run here, a chance, but the ball is just a little bit too high for Watts, who can't quite turn around. Takes a couple deflections. Kansas clamoring for a handball. They're not going to get the call. It trickles towards their sideline. Can they keep it in? Yes, they can. Fired back at the feet now of Page. Olivia Page, the Kansas defender, trying to get it up, looking for a through ball run. She sends it towards the front line. Nobody there, nobody home, and Mackenzie Smith will collect the ball and send it rooming forward as it scoots along the grass and goes out of bounds. Last touch by Kansas. It'll be a West Virginia throw. Kansas bench asking for a VAR check. They haven't gotten any look at from the ref so far. We haven't seen a replay on any of the TVs, so I can't tell you if that really was a handball or not. But the loose ball in the box deflected off some slightly unnatural body part. Could have been the shoulder, could have been the wrist. But if it was, not in a natural position and it hit that hand, could be given a penalty.
The ball just hit off the fan on the outside. I don't think that was a penalty at all. She had jumped up, and really her arm was close to her body. Poor fan that just got pelted in the head with the ball, but I think that's too excessive too. Plus, after the play is passed, after the ball has gone out of bounds, that play is no longer VAR reviewable.
Kansas bench clamoring again for a foul as Watts was taken down in the box. She tried a little hook turn, but hooked her arm around the defender, and they both went down together. Kansas coach hot, fuming. Nate Lee not hearing it or not having it in terms of explanations from the referee, but nonetheless, no penalty call. That's two occasions Kansas is probably going to feel like they deserve a spot kick. But no penalty called. We remain 0-0 as a West Virginia player hits the deck, as now the ball is loose and it's full chaos here in the attacking third.
The referee can't let this game get out of hand, because what happens then whenever the referee doesn't pay attention to the coaches clamoring, it builds up, and then it transfers to the players, then it transfers to the field, and then there could be a lot of unnecessary fouls or unnecessary roughness, and we don't want that to happen. It's been a good game so far in terms of physicality, at least.
Nice tackle there. It falls to the feet of Castens. She'll work her way up the left wing. Anticipation rising in the stadium as Kansas fans are trying to make their voices heard as there's a cross to the back post that's just a little bit in front. That was a really, really nice chance for Harima, who could stick her leg out and just tap it in, but she couldn't get there in time. The ball was moving a little bit too fast across this wet grass. Harima had a chance, stuck her leg out, but the ball was just past her boot. That was a real nice shot for Kansas, that was probably their best chance of the game yet to date. But remains 0-0 inside of 27 minutes. It's now 26:53 and counting as we see Abby Alexa make way for a rest pass for West Virginia, as the Mountaineers are going to look to maybe take a little bit of the pressure off themselves, as they've now been forced on the back foot a lot in the last 10 minutes.
What a play, and once again, they started playing direct. No long ball looking for Rema over the top, and it worked. I mean, Watts, who finally received the ball on the wing where she's supposed to be, gave a great cross that just needed a little touch. It was in point-blank range, but that's what Kansas needed. They need to start playing direct, and they need to, start finding an exact style of play.
Throw in from West Virginia trickles towards the Kansas defenders, who will just boot it towards the West Virginia attackers and do their best to press after possession loss. It's kicked up and tried to be controlled by Kansas successfully, but ultimately it's cleared again by West Virginia defender, this time falling right to the feet of Merlot. Merlot sends it in towards the Watts in the box, but it's cleared out well. It was a nice play. Ingleton did her best to clear the ball in the direction of Conte, but it pops over her head on high bounds and will go out of bounds. Now we're going to see some subs. Watts will get her first break of the game on the field. Shay Ryan, 2 goals and an assist to her name for the Roseville, California native. She likes to describe her style of play as similar to Erling Haaland, who has taken the Premier League by storm the last 2 years. Haaland is on a 5-game goalless streak, as I would know as a Manchester City fan, unfortunately. But nonetheless, I think she's hoping to tap into the type of Erling Haaland that can score 9 goals and a half for the Norway U21 team. Speak of her, here she is, crossing it into the back of the box, takes a bounce, but it's controlled nicely by Mackenzie Smith, who will dribble the ball once and survey her options before flinging it up ahead.
I'm sorry, I've never heard a Haaland reference, but you said it very well.
Right here, it says so right here.
Which
I do my research. Shay Ryan. She thinks she's Erling Haaland. And listen, I'm sure Kansas hopes she is. I'm sure she hopes she is. But nonetheless, the boot from Smith is sent towards the mob of West Virginia and Kansas players. It's controlled ultimately by the Mountaineers, who then immediately turn it over. Shay Ryan with it again. It's taken. Swung. Inglewood puts up ahead. Looking down the line for Alexa, but it's just a little bit too wide. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be a Kansas throw-in as we see another substitution take place.
In that case, if
McKenzie,
if Shay Ryan bases her play off of Erling Haaland, then we're gonna need Lexi Watts to provide a Kevin De Bruyne-esque center or cross to get that ball in.
Hammondtree coming on for Grigorski in a exchange of long last names ending in the E noise. As the through ball is played a little too heavily for West Virginia, it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be another Kansas throw-in from about the same spot. Let's see who's going to take it here. It looks like it's going to be Wood. Lauren Wood looking for some options, surveying the field, winds up and delivers down the line, getting her best to get it to Shay Ryan, who then looks up ahead. Watts couldn't get her foot on it as it's batted towards the sideline and out of bounds. Last touch by Kansas. It'll be a West Virginia throw-in now. Inside of 24 minutes, 23:30 left in this one. It's West Virginia 0, Kansas 0. Reminder, this is a tournament, so with no goal in regulation, we'll go to overtime or extra time, and then we'll go to penalty kicks. So somebody will emerge from this game victorious. That means the ball has to go into the back of net at some point, Joao. At some point.
I'm just trying to make sure this about overtime has been confirmed, correct? Because before there were 16 teams in the Big 12, there was no overtime.
It went straight to penalty kicks?
No penalty kicks either.
No penalty kicks?
It was based on seeding. If all the games were played as intended for both squads, it was based off of seeding, and if not, it was based off of accumulated like yellow cards and red cards for both squads, and if not, then it was based off of points in the regular season. So
that was my understanding of how it worked previously. I believe that the format had changed, but we've got Mahir Sinhasan on it, checking the rules just for us. Frankly, Joao, I hope we get some overtime if nobody scores, because I would like to see a goal. Still 0-0 here with 22:30 left in this game, as the deep boot from Sophie Daw goes off a West Virginia defender and will be out of bounds. It'll be Kansas throw in their half, but they immediately turn it over off the throw in. They're clamoring to say the ball went out of bounds, and the referee agrees with them. Kansas bench being loud, being active, trying to bring the juice and the vibes for their team. Is now 22:10 left in the half. They have 0, and the Mountaineers of West Virginia have 0. But here to throw it in now, Cassins is going to look for options down the line. Seems to be the best Kansan attacking strategies, looking for options down the line. Cassin gets it in, sends it towards the end line. Here's Shay trying to get there, and it's just a little bit too far for Shay Ryan. Asking for a foul, not getting it. She hit the deck, but then again, the grass is slippery.
And Kansas providing a somewhat Baylor-esque energy from earlier.
The bench is good vibes, just as the Baylor bench was good vibes. Fortunately, Baylor crashing out of the tournament earlier today, losing to Texas Tech. So I think Kansas is hoping that just because they're the vibes bench doesn't mean they're the losing bench. 21:30 now left in this one. West Virginia 0, Kansas 0 from CPKC Stadium. It's going to be a goal kick here for Mackenzie Smith. She sends one to the mass of bodies in the middle of the field, takes a bounce, takes a deflection, and is headed forward, then headed back. It'll be now into the Kansas defensive half, controlled by West Virginia. West Virginia not really getting a good chance so far in the second half. Perhaps that could be announcer's jinx, as here they have the ball looking for options, but she's dispossessed. A nice play there by Langfielder. Langfielder trying to play Shay Ryan through. It's just a little bit too heavy for her, though, and it'll be scooped up by Mackenzie Smith, who once again has to get her hands on the ball, but quickly tries to get it out and distribute from the back. Here come the Mountaineers moving forward. Sending up ahead, but it's intercepted. A nice play made. Sending it right back to the feet, though. It ends up with Schopel. Schopel will send it out wide. A.J. Rodriguez for West Virginia, pushing it forward. Nice little Travella pass down the sideline. Rodriguez doing her best to find Taylor White. White operating, tries to put a ball in the middle of the box, but a nice clearance is made. Not fully, though. Here's Schopel with it now. She's looking for options. Back to Alexa. Alexa had the best chance for the Mountaineers in the first half. She's now on the near sideline, parallel to the edge of the 18. Sends one into the box. It could be a header. It could have a chance, but it's just a little bit wide. That was West Virginia's best look of the second half.
Direct play.
That was a nice little cross. Alexa put a nice ball in, trying to see who got her head on the end of that. Not positive. It could have been Schopel. But still, West Virginia showing a little bit more fight, showing a little bit more passion here in this one as it remains 0-0 with 20 minutes and 13 seconds left. We have a stoppage because of the substitutions. Or rather, because of injury. We have a bleeding mouth on the side of Kansas. Katie Langfielder has just wiped her mouth off, and now the ref says, play on. You guys have red jerseys on. Nobody's going to notice it anyway. So Langfielder jogs back in her position in the midfield, and Sophie Dahl winds up to deliver this one from the edge of the box. It's a low goal kick that takes an odd deflection and will careen towards the sideline. Kansas is going to do their best to keep it in. Nice run around and a good flick in the middle of the field. Here come the Jayhawks building. A nice tackle there. Nickel couldn't necessarily control it, but it's back to Langfielder, who look up ahead. It's with Page now. Page of Kansas trying to put the ball through, but it's going to be a little bit too heavy. Smith could come out and scoop it up, and she will, telling everybody, let's just calm down. I got this under control. Smith now chucks it out wide. It's sent forward looking for Schertzer, but it's a little bit too far for her. It falls back to Langfielder. Langfielder will turn around and deliver it back to Page. Kansas kind of fluid 3 at the back, 4 at the back defensive line, doing a pretty good job of keeping their netminder clean tonight. But nonetheless, they're pushing forward offensively here as they try to do a little 1-2 action that's disrupted. Nice play there by Schopel, and West Virginia comes back the other way. Schopel's pass is intercepted by Page. Page with it now, moving into the attacking third. Sends one in the middle of the box. Just a little bit too long. And now Riggins with it. Riggins is slid tackled out of bounds, but they're going to say last touch was by none other than Lauren Wood of Kansas, so it'll be a West Virginia throw on the edge of their defending third. Riggins looking for options up the line. She sends it up the line, but it's intercepted by a Kansan. Playing it through, looking for Shea Ryan there. It's just deflected and taken the other way. Now here comes Jordan Wilson. Wilson puts it up ahead, looking for Beltran. Can't make that pass complete. Controlled here now. Nickel turning, cutting into the middle of the field. Her touch is just a bit heavy, and it's going to find the feet of A.J. Rodriguez of West Virginia, who now plays Koss out wide for the Mountaineers, who are looking to get out of their own half and just get some control of the ball. Finds the feet of Taylor White. White's going to try to hit a turn here. She can't successfully. She's held up very nicely. Good piece of defending by Cassins of Kansas. Now with Bovey, back with Cassins. She'll send it up ahead. Shea Ryan could make a run in behind here. She's doing her best. She's pacing her best, but the ball just slipping and sliding along that grass goes a little bit too far.
And West Virginia is really taking advantage of the gaps that Kansas is leaving. They're finally finding stuff on the attack, and really it's helped them out so far. Kansas still really stuck on that attack and not able to break through a final third, and when they do, it's either been really close or they don't take advantage, or it just hasn't been close at all.
I'm surprised West Virginia isn't taking more of these goal kicks short. They've just kind of been sending them up ahead, hoping they can come out of the mass of bodies with possession. And, of course, as I say that, it's perfect delivery right to A.J. Rodriguez, who turns and plays Taylor White through. White's in a foot race to the ball going towards the end line, but it's nicely controlled to go out of bounds. They're going to say White came in with a little bit of a late challenge. Referee blows his whistle. He could have something to say here. It's going to be a stoppage. And a yellow card will be shown to Taylor White for a late challenge. The ball was careening out of bounds. Olivia Page was doing her best to walk it down and seal off White, but once Page had 2 feet out of bounds, White said, yeah, you know what, I feel like chopping somebody down today. Slid in and took Page off her feet. Page was knocked down and hit the turf. It's going to be seemingly a Kansan free kick and another yellow card. That's the second yellow card of this half for West Virginia. With 17:22 left in this one, the Mountaineers are at 0 and the Jayhawks are at 0. It's going to be a free kick here. Sophie Daw is going to take it for the Jayhawks. Jayhawks have scored at least 2 goals in each of their past 6 games, which is the first time since the start of the 2014 season. But tonight they've got nothing to show for it with 17-17 and counting left on the clock and the 0 next to their name. Thankfully for them, there's a 0 next to West Virginia too, as these two teams are in a 0-0 deadlock as there's a deflection off of a Kansan defender and out of bounds. West Virginia is going to bring on a sub. We're going to see Lily McCarthy make a brief cameo. She's going to relieve A.J. Rodriguez of her duties for just a little bit, just a tad. I'm positive Rodriguez will just be taking a quick break and we'll be getting back on the field later on. We also might see Beltran make an appearance as she takes her penny off and jogs the touchline. taking a swig of some water, but a Kansas body hits the ground. No foul being called. West Virginia ball now near their defending third. They pushed up towards the midfield line as they now cut in looking for an option. It's Schopel with it. She's looking for a potential chance, but it's cleared out well by Page, who got her foot in there and sent the clearance towards Koss. Koss gets it out wide. Moving forward is McCarthy. McCarthy chops inside, looking for an option. Gets it up to Schopel, who kicks it back to McCarthy. Looking up ahead for Taylor White, but the pass is intercepted by a Kansas defender. Falls back to the feet. Here's Ingleton with it. Ingleton to Schopel. Schopel looking for options. Up ahead. Now out wide. Up a chance here for Schopel to put one into the box. Takes a couple deflections and is now kicked out towards the halfway line. Controlled here. Schopel again. She's been all over. She hits the ground again as they're finally going to give her a call. Schopel hit the ground 3 times in the last 3 minutes, and she finally gets a call, and she will adjust her shin pads and just sit there, giving herself a chance to get up, catch her breath. And it'll be a West Virginia free kick from kind of the edge of their attacking third. This thing is probably 35, 40 yards out. But at this point for West Virginia, with 0 goals on the scoreboard and 15:30 left in this one, they just looking for that first goal. It really feels like both these teams, at least going forward tonight, have not necessarily had the attacking quality that you're used to from these two squads, who are each top 4 in goals in the Big 12, but it's 0-0 so far tonight. The ball is loose in the box, takes a couple deflections. It finds the feet of Alexa. Alexa has the ball deflected away. A nice piece of defending there from Bovey. Bovey trying to get out of the corner. She finds Shea Ryan. And the clearance is just a little bit haywire and again finds the feet of Alexa. Alexa to Stropel. Schopel looking up ahead. Falls to the feet of a Mountaineer who now pushes it out wide. Here's a chance for Jordan Wilson. She puts one into the box. And after a deflection, it'll go out for a corner kick. Another good chance here for West Virginia. They've got a couple good set pieces as we're now inside of 15 to go. The Mountaineers 0, the Jayhawks 0.
And really, this is a great opportunity for West Virginia. They have tall players. They have, sorry about that, blanking out there. Gianna Koss. They have Abby Alexa. They have multiple players that can go in, give you a good header, and, you know, put you up 1-0.
As they're going to try to swing one in from the far side corner here. The lift of the arm. And now the drop of it, and the swinger comes in. Drifting towards the middle of the box. It's deflected out, and a shot taken from distance. Takes a couple deflections. It'll settle at the feet, seemingly, of Wimes. Wimes turns around and sends it up the field.
That's not what you want to do if you're Kansas. You have to keep on to that ball. I get you have 2-3 players next to you, but you had teammates besides you to lay it off. Meanwhile, you make a run and try to get up there.
Kansas continuing this frantic defensive pressure. Now it's Wood leading the charge of the right wing as the West Virginia tries to clear it. It's kicked out of bounds. It'll be a Kansas throw from the edge of their attacking third. Anticipation building in this building. Fans eager to see a goal, especially by the hometown heroes. To throw it in, Wood. Looking for options. Has yet to make a decision. Now winds up and tries to deliver it to the edge of the box. Slips through the defender's legs. But ultimately it'll be settled and delivered deep by Schertzer. They'll go out of bounds. And we're going to have a sub here for Kansas. Jillian Grigorski will come on. She's going to take off Hammondtree and just a re-exchange of what we saw about 5 minutes ago. Grigorski probably just coming off for a little bit of a break. I imagine she'll come on to finish the match. As the play into Conte, first time she touched the ball in a while, she tries to build it up from behind for Kansas. She works her way into the corner. Can't necessarily keep the ball in, and it'll be a West Virginia throw-in. West Virginia throwing in from the far side. The Mountaineers looking for their first goal of the game. 13:30 left in this one. Still 0-0. As it's Annika Leslie to throw it in for the Mountaineers. She's trying to work it up the line, but Kansas, with a high-pressing, aggressive defending strategy, has done well to keep West Virginia out of their comfort zone so far tonight. The only team left that didn't get a bye, the only seed higher than 4 left, the Kansas Jayhawks, the hometown team.
Practically, yes.
Yeah, it's the closest you're going to get to, big university around here. With the amount of Chief stuff I've been seeing on my walks around the city, I've been seeing equal amount of Kansas stuff. They sure do like to rock chalk here in Kansas City, here at CPKC Stadium, where the fans are filled about as much as they've been all tournament with blue, yellow, and red in support of their local Jayhawks. As the throw-in takes a couple deflections and will go off of a Kansas attacker. Last touch by Harima. It'll be a West Virginia throw-in. We're going to see a sub here for West Virginia. Respass making her reappearance onto the pitch. She's going to be taking off Alexa What can Rest Pass bring to this West Virginia side in the last 12 minutes, Joel?
Rest Pass can bring explosivity, and Rest Pass can bring finishing, similar to Shay Ryan on that Kansas side. She's quick, and you get her a good service, and she's gonna go ahead and definitely be able to finish that ball for you. Now, we are waiting on official communication from the Big 12 officials because their protocol hasn't been updated for a tiebreaker, so we should be receiving an email here in a bit.
The looping cross is sent in, but controlled nicely by Smith. She's been called into action a little bit less in the last few minutes of the second half, but both these teams just trying to find a breakthrough. Neither one really getting great attacking prowess going forward. And Joao, the way you see it, has this been poor attacking quality or just strong defending from both sides?
I think, honestly, it has been poor attacking quality. If this game did not have poor attacking quality, Kansas would be up, I want to say 2-0, maybe 3-0 with the amount of clear opportunities that they have had. Now, on Kansas end, you could definitely say that it's been good defending. I mean, yes, West Virginia hasn't been able to cause anything, but that's just because of their high press. Their high press is constant. I'm surprised their high press has lasted until this point in the game, and really they're just able to stop attacks, whether it's on the wings, whether it's through the center backs.
Kansas doing well to play with heart and passion here in front of their home fans. Takes a couple deflections now. West Virginia trying to send a ball into the box. It's loose a little bit, but ultimately it's tipped around. Wimes could stick her leg in there. She can't. It'll be controlled by West Virginia back close to the half field. Now they'll swing one towards the edge of the 18. Takes the deflection, still loose in the box. A couple collisions. Dribbling towards the goalkeeper, but no real threat there. And it's going to be a nice scoop up from Daw. Daw's going to take a couple dribbles of the ball like it's a basketball and is going to look for options up ahead.
And the time is
inside of 11 minutes now. 10:52 on the clock. Still 0-0 in this one between Kansas and West Virginia. Wimes went up for a header, then went down hard, but got up seeing the ball was close by. It's out of bounds. It'll be a Kansas throw-in. Now we're going to bring on some subs here. And there's Watts. Lexi Watts making her appearance back onto the field. 8 goals and 3 assists to her name this year. She made all-league Big 12 first team as a member of Kansas. AJ Rodriguez will also reappear onto the pitch for West Virginia. Replacing Adler, who had a brief cameo, more minutes than she usually gets for this Mountaineer side. Looking for options as Wimes goes down, not in the box, but close to it. No foul called. The clearance by West Virginia finds the feet of Conte. Conte looks to her left and finds Bovey. Bovey spins, now pushing upfield. Gets it to Castens. Castens plays through, but it's a little bit too heavy. But the clearance isn't cleared well. It'll dribble out of bounds. It'll be a Kansas corner kick. And here come the applause. Here comes the urges forward and the urges on.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, after this corner kick, I have an update from the Big 12 communications officer on what's going to happen if this game ends up 0-0.
That's perfect. Can't wait for this update. We are now with 10 minutes left in this one. West Virginia 0, Kansas 0, and a corner kick here for West Virginia. Merlot's going to lift her arm, swing the leg, swing the ball in. It'll be loose and deflected to the outside of the box. A touch taken, a deflection taken, and now we'll dribble out harmlessly towards the halfway line. They're going to send it back into the box. An attempted bicycle kick is offsides, first of all, and second of all, just gets right into the hands of Smith, the keeper. Ja, what's his update?
So pouring rain now from Kansas City, Missouri, but the Big 12 communications coordinator has told me the golden goal rule is back in effect for postseason. So it would be a 10-minute overtime period until somebody scores. If we are still tied after those 10 minutes, then it's another 10-minute period. And if there's still a deadlock after those 20 minutes of overtime, then we'd head into penalty kicks. So there we go.
We will see the ball hit the back of the net tonight. Cannot wait. It's going to happen at some point, and I cannot wait. West Virginia has it now in their attacking half with 9 minutes left to go. Just now under 9 minutes. Still 0-0 for both these clubs. Leslie's going to lift her arm and send it into the box. It's floating, it's hanging, and it's batted backwards by Conte, who didn't really want to try that. As coming out to collect it well is Daw. Potential high kicking. Kansas wants that call. They're not going to get it right now. Daw adjusting her shin pads. Clad in all black is the Kansas keeper tonight. Rolls her sleeves up, dribbles the ball, dribbles it again. She's going to wind up and boot this one deep. And her punt is hanging, and dropping just around half field. Kansas wanting another foul as it looked like Schopel went right up and over the Kansas attacker, but nonetheless no call. Still a Kansas throw-in. It's headed towards Watts. Now Watts tries to control it, gets around a defender, and has it now. She makes a nice turn and now attacks towards the middle of the field. It's about 2-on-6 here, but it hasn't stopped Watts before. Tries one from distance. It's off the hands of Smith, but ultimately controlled by the keeper. That's the best run we've seen out of the Kansas attack going forward in the second half. Not necessarily the end product you want, but it was a nice move to get there.
And really, that's what they need. That's what they need to do. Just continue to, push up that field. And when they have a clear target when they're passing, when they'll be fine. Because what West Virginia is doing right now, they're just trying to hang on defensively.
It's sent up. No, rather deflected. A really, really nice tackle there made by Merlot. Now it's a 2-on-3. Here comes Watts trying to operate to the outside. Good attacking. No, the defender hits the ground. Watts has a chance from a hard angle. She tries to cross it. Deflected off her now and out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for West Virginia. That was a really good chance for Watts. Ingleton was defending her. A piece of contact sent Ingleton sprawling to the grass, and that left it open for Watts, who attacked at a hard angle on the near side. Tried to put one in the middle of the box, but it didn't necessarily ever have a hope of getting there. It takes a deflection off a couple of West Virginia defenders before hitting off of Watts' left boot and dribbling out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick as Taylor White will come back onto the pitch for West Virginia. She's going to replace Taylor Wilson.
And that Kansas bench is full of different emotions. The first half of it's cheering on its team and, just letting them know, like, we're here for you. And the second one is just in disbelief because that was such a great opportunity that was wasted for Kansas.
Watts doing her best to get physical and get the ball back. She's putting a lot of pressure here on West Virginia. They're going to say out of bounds off McCarthy. Kansas' bench is fired up. They are fired up by what their star player is showing them so far tonight. Lexi Watts doing well to bring the ball back for her team. Inside of 7 minutes now. 6:45 and counting for the Jayhawks. They look for their winning goal. West Virginia 2. It's also no goals for them so far tonight. They could have one goal and could seemingly shut this crowd up and kind of be the Hopetown villains, if you will. To throw it in for Kansas here is Castens. Castens looking for an opportunity. She gets to the edge of the box. Takes a couple deflections. Player hits the turf. They're going to say it was a foul on Kansas and a foul on Watts.
Now, with this inclement, I know we talked about the field conditions earlier and everything. With this inclement weather that's supposed to go on for the rest of the week, how is this supposed to affect the pitch? There's 2 games on Saturday, and then technically there's 2 games on Wednesday, and then there's technically 2 games on Saturday again because the Current play that morning.
Yes.
Before
the final, the Current do have a game. At this point, where my interest lies is how's the weather going to affect a potential penalty shootout? When that field is soaking wet, when you're playing in the rain, that gripping and that foothold that you can get with your left foot, assuming you're right, you got to plant your left foot and have a good plant. We've seen it happen in the Premier League. We've seen it happen in the Women's World Cup. We've seen it happen everywhere. Big penalty kicks missed because the player does not have a good footing in their left foot, and so their plant foot slips out from under them, and they just send the ball kind of careening over the box. So I'm interested to see how the rain might impact a potential penalty shootout here. But Smith is more focused on what's happening in the now as she sends her goal kick towards the Kansas defensive line. It's flicked on by White. White clamoring that it's West Virginia ball, and she will get it. West Virginia bench now started to kind of respond to the Kansas bench, get a little bit fired up too. High energy so far. 5:52 left in counting this one. Still 0-0. It's played through. Good opportunity here for rest pass, but she immediately turns it over. Kansas tries to send it up the line, but it's deflected by Schopel. Schopel finds the feet of Koss. Koss gets it now to Beltran. Beltran is hit hard from behind. West Virginia wanting a foul. They're not getting it. It'll be out and controlled. Back to Schertzer. Schertzer gets it to Beltran. Beltran trying to turn. She does. A nice little move there on the far sideline. Now cuts inside. Does have an overlapping run. Decides not to use it. Swings it out wide. McCarthy with it. She could wind up from distance. She chooses not to. Ref playing advantage. Ball takes the deflection, and the ref will call that advantage. It's going to be a West Virginia free kick from Joao. Dare I say a threatening position here. Beltran went down hard, and they're going to give her a foul. Let's see where the ref spots this. Where she ended up was just a few yards outside the box. She might have slid forward when she fell. Yeah, so the ref is going to give them a free kick that's a lot farther out than I thought it might be. It's about 35 yards, 40 yards out.
It's at this point, any ball in a position, especially facing that direction, the goal is dangerous. It looks like West Virginia might try to do
something short here to swing it in off a cross. Rodriguez stands over it. There's a two-person wall right in front of her. She chips it towards the box. It's deflected off the head of a Kansas defender and ultimately gets back to the feet of Rodriguez. She plays it behind her, and West Virginia is going to hold possession and build up from the back. Inside of 4:30 now. 4:22 and counting, still 0-0. A turnover, though, and Conte just boots it deep, trying to hope that Jayhawk can run under it. Looking for any help from Gregorski. Gregorski's pursuing passionately this ball, won't necessarily control it. It falls to the feet of McCarthy. McCarthy's pass takes a double deflection. They're going to say it'll be a West Virginia throw-in. Here's Koss with it. She flips it up ahead, and a nice slide tackle puts the ball out of bounds. A good move there by Bovey. The Nebraska native puts that out of bounds, and it'll be a West Virginia throw. Kopel again. It comes off of Bovey and falls to the feet of White. White back to Koss. Koss looking up ahead. It's flicked on and a chance here. Beltran settles it. Tries to head it on one more. They're going to say she was offsides. And Kansas will have a free kick from the edge of their 18. 3:35 and counting left in this one. Still 0-0. And as my partner Jalara highlighted earlier, should they still be tied after this 3.5-minute period, we're going to go to one period of overtime, golden goal. If nobody scores, we go to a second period of golden goal overtime. Both these periods, just 10 minutes. And then, if there's no goal after that, it's going to be penalty kicks to decide who moves on to the next round. I think a much more fun way of deciding who moves on than just yellow cards or seeding in the tournament.
For sure, and I am glad those regulation changes were made for a reason. I am glad that someone was able to tell us what the heck is going on.
This game continuing to get physical as White is met hard by Lexi Watts. It's going to be a foul on Watts, number 18 for Kansas. Inside of 3 minutes to play now. To stand over it.
Now look, the best
is Olivia Schertzer.
The best teams in this tournament have had substitutes to go on and on. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw substitutes-based overtime period, especially when you're needing fresh legs. It wouldn't be far-fetched to see 3 or 4 substitutes to come on for each side.
Scherzer's ball is sent into the box and controlled nicely by Daw, who comes out after receiving a little bit of a high kick there. You know, rest pass not taking too kindly to Shaw kind of elbowing her out of the way to get the ball, but the keeper's ball can sometimes just be the keeper's ball. 2:15 left in this one. West Virginia 0, Kansas 0. No goal yet tonight. Trying to break the deadlock, one of these teams looking for an opportunity. It's a high booting punt that'll fall down to the feet of Wimes, who turns. It's about 2-on-4 for Wimes. She cuts to the inside. Tries from distance. It's curling, and it's just a little bit wide. Wimes tried one from far away. She was yards short of the edge of the D, but nonetheless tried to curl one into the top corner. It's just a little bit out wide now. And Mackenzie Smith haven't really been called into action very much this half. We'll put the ball on the edge of the 6, and we'll try a goal kick. 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this one. Both teams trying to not really play those golden goal periods, trying to save their legs and look for a winner before the end. As a through ball bounces high and falls to Lexi Watts. The defender goes down in the box, but the ball is nicely cleared out towards the corner flag. Here's Watts with it, dancing along the end line. Sends one into the box. There's bodies there. Takes a deflection. Falls to the feet. Merlo with it. She now switches the field, but it's intercepted and deflected, and West Virginia just clears it the other way. A nice run here. What a run. Taylor White doing her best to make these Kansas defenders feel her as it's sent up through Bobby. And there's a deflection taken by Wimes. Wimes intercepted a bad big touch. She tries from distance, and a nice save is made. A good save there, Mackenzie Smith. Still, no real shots in the box for either team this half. Both of them trying stuff from distance, but who's going to be the hero? Two teams desperate to move on here in the Big 12 tournament. Somebody's going to have to step up. It could be a sub. It could be really anybody in this field. We might see a heroic save or two from these keepers as Smith's kick is sent hurtling into the Missouri Knight. Takes a couple deflections. A high kick is potentially called. No, rather not. Now played wide. Here's Strobel from distance. It's floating, and it's just a little bit high. Schopel tried a shot from far away. It was just a little bit high. Ended up in, I would say that, probably row E, maybe row F in the stands behind the goal. As with 17 seconds left, both teams seemingly exhaling and just deciding to run this one out. Dawes going to take her time here, going to wind up and deliver. There's 7 seconds left in the half. The ball takes the deflection off of Wimes. Rodriguez now controls it. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that'll be the end of regulation. Wow, we got some golden goal to play. This game is not over. Not a goal scored yet today, and the one will have to be scored if we want to end this game. Both these teams are going to talk with their teams. Quick 5-minute intermission, and we'll be back with you in 4:50 seconds.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise. And that's why I fight for you, headbangers. Hot FM. Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
Is what I wanted, is what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football. How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to play a sport. But have you ever wondered what it may be like to interview someone who is in the sports industry? Like, how do I become a broadcaster? How do I become a graphic designer? How do I become a public address announcer? It's all here. How to Sports, your go-to sports industry leading show here on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Ryan Pasesnik, Max Williams, and Tyler Wargo. How to Sports. It's in the game.
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello.
With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment.
Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have all 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy Newt, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the MLB postseason, top NFL storylines, the biggest offseason news from the NBA and NHL, and anything relevant happening in the sports world. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk sports, so join the conversation. Listen live on blazeradioonline.com every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, or if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen.
And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As 2 former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
Coming this fall,
Friday Night Lights, Camera Action, Blaze Radio's premier sports movie talk show returns.
There's no crying in Friday Night Lights, Camera Action.
If you ain't first, then watch Friday Night Lights, Camera Action.
Guys, there are rich teams and there are poor teams. And then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's people who don't watch Friday Night Lights, Camera Action.
Remember the time Friday Night Lights, Camera Action showed up at halftime and Blaze Radio won the Bourbon Bowl? Friday Night Lights, Camera Action, Friday starting at 9 p.m. Arizona time on blazeradioonline.com.
Now go out there and take it.
What's up, everyone? Life is confusing, so I, Natalia Marin, have decided to answer some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? AKA the name of my new show, Does It Work? Will have fun conversations featuring my hours of research, evaluating if cultural phenomenons, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Monday at 9 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com to see, if it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, overtime period number 1 here from CPKC Stadium. where West Virginia and Kansas are still sitting at 0. 10 minutes here, about to start in a couple of moments. 10 minutes here, about to start in a couple of moments. Luke, how are you seeing this game from your end?
If any team had shown me that they can have attacking quality going forward and put a threat on goal, I'd feel confident in that team winning. Unfortunately, neither team has shown me that yet tonight, so I have no idea who's going to win this game. It's really just that wide open.
It is a toss-up as we now see Grigorski hit the ball off from center field, and Kansas kick off this first overtime period. As we now see a shot come off from Lexi Watts, deflected off of the West Virginia defense. Now it's rest pass for West Virginia, tussling with Olivia Page. And the Kansas bench celebrating that foul against Page as they wanted that call as soon as they saw contact. Dead ball from the half of the field for Kansas. Page on the ball with a quite amount of options. She has 5 options nearby, but if she wants to play it deep, she definitely has 4 down there too. Ball going over the top, near that half circle. It finds Wimes inside the box. Lets off a shot, blocked off by the West Virginia defender. Once again, another cross inside the box. Hit out once again. This game is sort of like a game of ping pong, the way this ball is going back and forth between the defense and the offense. As we now see Wimes battle it out with Schertzer out on that left wing. The ball had touched Schertzer last, so Wimes is going to let that out for a Kansas corner kick. And this Kansas bench is on fire, Luke.
Yeah, that was a pretty good chance there for Kansas. They had a good opportunity to put one in the back of the net there. What I think we're not going to notice, Olivia Page making a run from center back, going up for a header. She would have had a clean look, lost her footing. Her feet slipped out from under her, and she had to basically take an uncomfortable quick seat. That could have been a good chance for Kansas, but now they have a corner kick.
Ball over the top by Castens. Deflected up by the defense. Page hitting it with her head close to the goal. Hit up in the air by who seemed to be number 13, Lauren Wood. But it's going to go ahead and go out for a West Virginia goal kick.
Yeah, and I mean, as fired up as this Kansas bench is and as fired up as this Kansas crowd is, I feel like I'm getting a sinking feeling West Virginia's just going to get lucky, get a couple tips, and just put one in the back of the net and just put the dagger in the heart of all Kansas fans here in attendance right now.
That could be possible, but Lauren Wood trying to send the ball up to the top to Wimes. It's going to go ahead and be rejected by Anika Leslie. And it's now a throw-in for Kansas off that right side. Ball thrown in from Wood, rejected by Schertzer. Kansas struggling to get this throw-in in as Wood couldn't find possession of the ball, but the Rock Chalk standing strong here in Kansas. We hear some chants coming on from the other side of the field. Let's go Kansas! As we now see Wood hitting the ball towards West Virginia territory. Rejected by Rodriguez, but once again recovered by number 14, who lets it cross into the box. A cross that was sort of like a shot. And it was Grigorski who let off that little hybrid ball. Really couldn't tell you what it was. But either way, it's in the hands of keeper Mackenzie Smith now, who puts the ball on the ground and is looking for that long ball. Long ball over the top. With no intended target, rejected by Olivia Page. AJ Rodriguez recovering that ball that was hit out by Page. Tries to pass it to her teammate. Schertzer now finding herself a little bit in a pickle. Late slide tackle from Grigorski, but the referee applying advantage.
Good application of advantage there by the referee as Kansas gets a quick interception. These turnovers abundant far in overtime. It's been a sloppy period, and the chaos kind of favors Kansas between these two teams.
For sure, and maybe it could be that home advantage you mentioned right before the game as we see Mackenzie Smith once again try to play from the back. Ball over the top, attempting to find rest pass, goes over, instead finds the head of Boove. Boove, once again, finding that rebound from that West Virginia midfielder, and West Virginia is going to try to settle it, but it's going to be a nice steal from Michaela Merlo. Merlo running down the field, approaching that West Virginia box, but is going to be depossessed And now it's AJ Rodriguez on the ball. Rodriguez with rest pass, playing it wide with number 17 Schupel. It's going to be rejected by that Kansas defense. Now it's Kansas' turn to get on the attack. Now we see Caroline Cassens on the left wing. Plays it to Wimes. Wimes running between two. Couldn't stop right in time. Ends up losing the ball. West Virginia clears it, but now we see Grigorski on the ball. Letting out a shot right outside the 18-yard box on that right side. But it's going to be Mackenzie Smith in the middle of the goal to receive that ball with ease.
Kansas piling on the pressure right now. Halfway through this golden goal period, we'll see if West Virginia bends and breaks. Right now they've bent, but they haven't broken. And that was a nice save there by Smith. Had a little bit of trouble with the ball initially, but, settled it down, knocked it down, and is now going to boot it out. She's playing pretty well tonight.
Smith, pass that was intended for Dillery Heredia Beltran. Instead, it's hit out by number 13, Lauren Wood. Now we see Scherzer on the ball. Scherzer with multiple options. Finding Rodriguez. Rodriguez getting stuck in between two. Now we see Watts on the ball. Watts playing the ball in the middle. It's Grigorski. Grigorski with a good opportunity here. Right outside the 18. Plays it through. Ball to Wimes. Wimes right in front of goal. That's off a shot. And it's Smith with the save.
What a save by Smith, coming out, shutting down the angle, do exactly what goalkeepers meant to do. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Wimes was offsides, but that's clinical, just clinical from Smith. Coming out, dropping her knee, inverting it so there's no path between her legs, getting her arms out really wide. It's called the Peter Schmeichel star save. One of the greatest keepers in soccer history made that famous, and she did a great job sealing off the angle, making it really hard for Wimes to get past her, and just making herself big like a star.
Love the Peter Schmeichel reference, and once again, when Wimes was staring the goal in the face and was about to bring the Rock Chalk victory, if that call would have stood, Smith would be a hero right now. As we see West Virginia try to play out the back again, and it's Anika Leslie who gets a little impatient, ends up booting the ball out of bounds. It's a West Virginia throw-in. Wood now over the top, looking for Wimes. Rejected by Leslie. Ball that went to Rodriguez. Rodriguez couldn't control. And now we see Lauren Wood on that ball. Lauren Wood playing in the middle with Michaela Merlo. Merlo looking for Wimes over the top again. Now it's rejected by Schupel. Kansas recovers in West Virginia territory. Now it's Langfelder. Langfelder playing it wide to Wood. Ball over the top. Looking for Wimes! Very close opportunity as it looked like that ball went into the top left corner. But instead, it's going to go out of bounds for a West Virginia goal kick with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in this first period of overtime.
Joao, I got to be honest, I don't know how Kansas gets a better chance than that in this gritty overtime period where chances are hard to come by. What a ball into the box and a fantastic run by Sage Wimes. She had the ball right on her forehead. She just flicked it on a little bit too much and sent it wide. Mackenzie Smith didn't see her coming. None of the Mountaineers saw her coming. And just Wimes could have ended the night right there, but puts it a little bit wide.
And to be honest, I thought that was it. I thought it was over, but here we are. We continue with Mackenzie Smith back in goal. Now recovering the ball, pushing up her players. West Virginia needs to show something here.
Chance after chance for the Jayhawks. Wimes, there are 2 different occasions you thought she had ended it.
Wow, I am appalled. I don't have words as we see AJ Rodriguez now fight with Lauren Wood for that ball. Now it's in the possession of Watts. Watts fighting with Scherzer for the ball. Scherzer tries going between Wimes, but Wimes wins that ball with great pressure. Now running down that right wing with nice little body feints. Overpowered by Schupel, who already has a yellow card and has to be careful there. Gives it back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to play it with Schupel once again.
At this point, it feels like the Mountaineers are clinging to life in the last 2 minutes of this overtime period. The rain's starting to fall. They just want to get to that second overtime period so they can get a bit of a reset.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see what Kansas can do off this play. It's Watts. Watts, who gets cut off by Scherzer, and Scherzer has to hit that ball out. It's once again a throw-in for Kansas. 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining. CPKC Stadium has not seen a game like this in this tournament, and to be honest, I am loving it.
It's been brilliant football. I mean, we kind of had to sit through a bit of a tough chess match, slow-paced match for a while, but this game's really opened up in the end as Kansas continues to apply pressure.
as we now see number 13, Lauren Wood on the ball, looking for options, finding Lexi Watts right at that edge of the 18-yard box on the right. Ends up playing it to Sage Wimes, who doesn't get a good touch, and it's Scherzer who ends up covering that ball once again, and there's less than 60 seconds. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, less than 60 seconds for this first period of overtime to end. And obviously, we are still 0-0 as we see Mackenzie Smith about to hit this ball, possibly cross midfield. Bull now going over the top, looking for Schupel. Finds Merlo instead. Gregorski ended up touching the ball, fouled in the process. Dead ball for Kansas with 26 seconds left to play.
This is honestly good for West Virginia. The clock is running and ticking right now, and they're happy to just kind of burn everything and make this the last chance of this first overtime period.
And we see Sophie Daw going up, but instead she retreats back. I was going to say that's very irresponsible, but Sophie Daw making a run. Ball going over. 5 seconds left. Ball going into the box. Wimes, who almost had a touch with it. A final shot from Kansas, but it's going to be over. Overtime period 1 and done. We have one more period of overtime with a 2-minute break. Both squads meeting up with each other, having a quick little talk before they have to go at it and battle. We will be right back after this brief period.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers.
Hot FM. Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
Is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football. How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to.
Ready with you, 20 seconds till the start of overtime period 2. Zhao Lara, Luke Lemler. It is golden goal here in Kansas City after one of the slowest matches of the tournament yet. It's turned into a thrilling one. Still 0-0. Nobody can find the back of the net, but my goodness, what a display we've seen from both Kansas and West Virginia. Zhao, who can come out on top in the second overtime period?
It can be anybody, but it was supposed to be Kansas. Kansas had 2 clear opportunities in OT period 1, and they couldn't take advantage of them.
Sage Wimes, 2 clear-cut chances right in front of goal as the rain continues to trickle down just slightly here in Kansas City. The Kansas bench has been electric, been active. They've got fans in the stands, and they've got people tuning in all around, all the way back in Lawrence. For West Virginia, they're dealing with a lot of pressure right now, but if they can face it for 10 more minutes, they can win on penalty kicks. It's really that simple. The path to victory exists for both teams. It's going to be West Virginia ball to start this one as the boot is taken. It's Schopel with it. She'll send it up down the wing looking for Taylor White. It's just a little bit too short, deflected back by the Kansas defender. Falls to Gorski. She looks for options. Ultimately dispossessed, but a couple deflections, leaves it at the feet. Here comes Watts. Watts looking for options. She's operating in the middle of the field. Puts it on her inside boot. Now cuts inside. Tries from distance. Nice deflection. It's good deflection there by Koss. It ends up back at the feet of AJ Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking for options. She tries to send White through a beautifully weighted ball. Here comes White. Could be 1-on-1 with the keeper, but a nice run made by Daw. She comes out and claims the ball. She could have gotten a little scared. She could have sat on her heels, and she could have just sat there, but she didn't. She came out. She did a good job being aggressive. She picked up the ball, and it will be no threat of a goal for West Virginia.
And that's what keepers do. That's what great keepers do. They anticipate that run. They go out, and they cut it off before anything else happens.
And now it's headed on. Watts has a chance here. She's 1-on-1. She slots it into the net, and the Jayhawk mania lives on. Kansas, the hometown heroes, do it just 1 minute into the second overtime period. There it is. a Watts winner here in Kansas City, Missouri, and the Jayhawks are moving on. Unbelievable. They pile on top of their all-league player just outside the 6. It's Mountaineer heartbreak, and it's Jayhawk elation tonight in Kansas City. That will do it. The first and only goal of the match wins it for KU. Zhao, how did that happen?
Lexi Watts with the beautiful run. She knew that ball was going over here. She had the pace, and she said, okay, let me take it from here. And the player from Lenexa, Kansas, taking her school to the semifinals of this Big 12 championships with the second clear upset of this tournament.
Grew up chanting rock chalk, and now Nate Lee wraps her in a hug as she has carried her Kansas squad to moving on to the next round. The first major upset we've seen in the quarterfinals of this tournament. 6-seed Kansas upsetting 3-seed West Virginia, and you just felt like that was coming. Pressure all night in favor of the Jayhawks.
And they had these opportunities, and they had 9 shots on target. 9 shots on target without a goal. It's insane. I couldn't imagine the XG they'd had tonight.
Just a great performance from Kansas. Relentless pressure all night. Well done by the Mountaineers to stay strong, hold that 0 goals for as long as they did. Undoubtedly heartbroken. You have to feel for a program with so many upperclassmen and so many seniors and 5th-year players. AJ Rodriguez still on the floor. Sophie Daw will come over to comfort her. It was a war of attrition tonight, Joao.
And
a war of attrition, and ultimately the Jayhawks will come out on top. What a match. What did we just see?
That overtime period just it gave it a shock. It brought this game back to life. When this game really had no outlet, when both squads really just looked dead, they come back and really West Virginia was against the wall in both of these overtime periods. To be quite honest with you, I mean, Kansas had done everything to perfection. They just couldn't find the goal, and luckily they find the back of the net.
The hometown team moving on to the semifinals, where they will face the Red Raiders of Texas Tech on Wednesday.
What a game.
The other semifinal, the 1-seed TCU going to face off against the 4-seed BYU, both teams with convincing wins earlier today. And that will do it for today. For myself, Mahir Senhassan, my partner, Zhao Lara, what a day of soccer we had today. Wow. Can we top it on Wednesday? Can we try?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight, to be quite honest with you. I think this adrenaline is going to carry me through the night, and I don't think this can be topped. Day 2 was absolutely insane.
What a day from CPKC Stadium. Thank you again for tuning in. Once more, I am Luke Lendler, my partner Zhao Lauer, and our third man and true MVP, Mahir Senhassan. It's been a pleasure calling games for you today. Signing off from CPKC Stadium. We'll be back with you on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in to Blaze Radio. Be safe and good night.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers.
Hot FM. Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
Is what I wanted, is what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.